Oh shit! Oh God, hi. So I'm so mad at you for fighting. V for Vendetta. I'm angry. You stupid fighting words. And
you know what? I'm gonna set the carpet on fire, and I hope you're still mad at me.
Okay. Well, okay. So hi, Justin. Anyway, how are you? First of all, hi.
Very emotionally disturbed by what I just witnessed.
Totally forgot you were in the green room for that too. So RB, you must have just slipped on there.
I do have a good thing to say is that my Back to the Future hoverboard came in. Yeah, it's very nice right there. I can set my Luke Skywalker there.
I remember that
just chilling.
Dude, that is the ugly Luke Skywalker figure. The weird face.
The ugly Luke Skywalker, where it looks like it doesn't really look very well. Very good when if you press the button right here. Oh God, how do I do it? Doesn't look that great. This is literally like the button at the back. That's what he does. He's supposedly supposed to be facing Vader, I guess. But when we get older, we realize the flaws in our toys.
This is so.
But Back to the Future, no, this is very pure. Nothing wrong with this floating little hoverboard thing. No, nothing wrong with that at all.
Pretty baller. I can't lie. That is pretty baller. So we are gonna. We obviously will wait for Sean to dive into our meaty debate tonight. I'm very excited to dive into that. I'm going to start something off for everybody once Sean gets here, but we do have a couple super chats. So it's drinking o'clock and we can't wait.
Yeah,
so
beer 30. Yeah.
Beer 30. And Sean's had the link, so and it should be an exploit. Sean's had the link, so he's got no excuse except for the fact that he does. It is all his fault because realistically, I didn't text him to tell him I'd sent him the link because I just sent the link via email because he's a Luddite. So it's not my fault if he's not getting proper notifications of when he receives an email from me.
What he should do is make social media, but only for us. It's like our bat signal.
Exactly. He should make it just us one. So anyway, while we're waiting for Sean to get here so we can pull the pin out of the grenade, essentially, and let this stream explode like the avocado exploded. More on that later. The fifth one. We actually might be one tonight.
Or like whatever the fuck you guys were doing before this went live. I don't know how that happened.
We don't do things. Says, hail AT&T girls, milkers.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I love
AT&T girls?
The chick who was in the AT&T commercials,
Melina Weintraub or something.
I guess she's got good tits. She's got a healthy
what about her?
Apparently she's got good tits. Anthony Scioli says, nostalgia, back to the critic. And Ninja Lawyer Steve says, Luke Skywalker with a jacking off action. Yeah, buddy.
Hold on, let me show you the Tarzan action figure.
Yeah.
So yes, there's her boobs for those that are wondering. Anyway.
Boobs.
I don't know if you can focus really much on his face, but if you get a good look at his face, like it doesn't make it any better.
So now
it really doesn't.
You know this action figure, right?
What's he supposed to be doing?
That's real. That's a real toy.
What is he supposed to be doing?
He's just supposed to be like hitting shit.
Oh, I remember that in preschool, and that explains a lot about my childhood.
It popped up too.
Yeah, makes so much sense. I vaguely remember that action figure.
I never had it, but the one masturbating Tarzan, fake drugs, and racially insensitive Barbie. I have to read that article later.
God, this all sounds delightful. Oh, I also want to shout out to our few listeners. Those we throw an option on Twitter for people who we. I mean, I just like to be we. For oh yeah, drop a reply to this comment. So for those lovely members of the Mindless mob out yonder who were not able to be here live tonight, but are hopefully going to get a chance to watch it, we got Lost Jedi 22 who sends me a wink. So thank you, Lost Jedi 22. Gus the Grumposaurus, aka the Dragon Witch Lord, says, "That's it, make me famous, baby." Oh, must know of the Grumposaurus.
It's a great name.
We do love the Grumpus. I love the Grumposaurus.
Even Gus.
Enjoy Gus too. That's in my plant right now. We have a succulent named Gus. And Blue Watchers is under the weather tonight, but have a fantastic evening.
I saw that earlier, Blue Watcher, when you were on our stream. I meant to give you a shout out, but thanks for sticking with us as long as you did. He was there for a good chunk of the show.
Nice. Well,
I'm just too tired. I think he's got a cold or something.
Well, I hope he's getting some rest now. Yeah. And
that dude is one of the most loyal listeners, though. Like, that dude's been listening nonstop for almost 3 years now. So always here.
All right.
So just stay healthy, dude.
Yeah.
We miss you.
So if you're listening, we hope you're feeling so much better, and we hope it's not the evil.
Rona.
The beer bug.
The Wu-Tang.
The Wu-Tang. Is this where the war is supposed to happen? Caleb, yes, but I'm waiting for my reinforcements.
She's waiting on her reinforcements because Justin and I can just start talking how great Back to the Future is.
This is not fair, but 007 Cloud says, "I thought I was watching a home video of me and my girl in the beginning." Lol, get it, bro. Yeah, buddy. We have fun.
Always do.
No, we have a
All right, fine.
Cheers. All right. Guys, Sean has come. That was really
I hope he does.
Welcome, Sean. Welcome to the battleground. Uh-oh, are we getting feedback from Sean? Sean, we're getting your
let me get rid of this thing.
Please.
Mute. There we go.
Yep. By the way, Sean, we have to cover some, real road ground that I'm curious about. Eddie Van Halen. Yay or
yes.
nay?
What?
Good.
Excellent.
Yes. Okay, we're good.
Great
Anyways,
innovator. One of the most important
you're
men
a
to the
guitar
electric
player.
guitar.
Yeah, you're a guitar player. So I'm just curious.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No,
if you had said Eddie Van Halen, crap, like we would have been done. But
no way.
No. Yeah.
Eddie changed music for an entire decade or longer with 1 minute and 42 seconds, known as Eruption.
Yep. Okay. All right. We're good. We're good.
Decade afterwards, we all set by that.
Yeah.
So basically, now that we know that the Geneva Convention is going to be observed in the following protocol, the lines are drawn in the sand. And I would like to introduce this battle with just a few simple words to commemorate this monumentous occasion. But on this most auspicious of nights, permit me then, in lieu of a more commonplace sobriquet, to suggest the character of this dramatis persona. Voila! In view of a humble vaudevillain veteran, cast vicariously as both victim and villain by the vicissitudes of fate. This visage, now vacant, vanished. However, this valorous visitation stands vivified and is bound to vanquish the venal and virulent vermin, vanguarding vice, and vouchsafing the violently vicious and voracious violation of volition. The only verdict is vengeance, a vendetta held as a votive, not in vain. For the value and veracity of such may one day vindicate the vigilant and the virtuous. Verily, the vichy swab of verbiage veers most verbose. So let me simply add that it is my very good honor to meet you, and you may call me V.
Do I get my retort?
Let the games begin.
Now, Biff, don't con me. All right, let's fight.
I was going to say, by the way, I'm sorry it took so long, but in the honor of Sean Connery's passing,
You made a martini.
Absolutely.
it is a vodka martini, dry, shaken, not stirred, with olives.
All right, let's drink to Sean Connery.
Let's drink to Sean Connery
Absolutely.
and drink to figuring out what in God's name is on the back of my beer bottle.
See,
Well,
it's
what's the
this
first thing
and
you
Eddie
said
Van
when you
Halen
said
that I really need to get this guy's his vibe. Like what is like we have to have some common ground, at first, and so we can not hate each other going forward.
Clearly, we're gonna need to.
So I cannot hate Sean going forward. We have to establish okay, we agree on these things. All right. But,
absolutely. And as a matter of fact, I have a Partsacaster that I built because I picked up the body for $50 and it was like a metallic red. And as soon as I saw it, I said, okay, the iconic guitar from our good friend Eddie was called Frankenstein. So I built this thing. I bought a Mighty Mite neck and I took parts that I had out of my bin just like he did, where it wasn't, I'm going to get a bunch of new stuff. No, it's like, I'm going to get a little here and a little that, put it all together. And I've named it Monster. And so it's my Van Halen style Frankenstrat.
Ooh.
where is it?
I'd have to get it. So give me just 1 second. I'll show you guys real quick. Give me a second.
Before you do that, Sean, I just like to clarify that when I said it's time for Sean to come in here, I didn't mean this.
I didn't do that, I promise.
Is Sean
I was with Jeff
within
the whole
that
time.
bottle? I'm confused.
How does it get?
If I did that, I gotta tell you, I got some range.
I had to give you a
That's a
compliment. How
few
did you-
hundred
Real
miles.
big range.
That's solidly a few hundred miles. Not as far as Justin would have to travel, but out of the reach of most human men.
Yeah, well, I mean, I used to be able to travel just 15 minutes by car, but it is what it is.
One day. So, before we lay down the ground rules for our fight, we will lay down the ground rules for the drinking. Which, of course, chat. We love you guys to participate in any and all of our wonderful discussions. Mindless Mob, I'm a little disappointed. I guess maybe we didn't get that much crossover from WCBS, or some of you guys are still afraid of that, But Mindless Mob, if you'd like to represent. Let's get this fist in here because we are small, but we are mighty.
So we're fisting the Mindless Mob tonight?
We are fisting. No, the Mindless Mob is you.
Look, it's closed for entry, okay? There's no fisting going on.
That is a pretty thing.
That looks like that's a fender that's in a way it looks like it's in a style of a Gibson SG with the red and the black. I really like that.
Thank you.
But it is a fender though, and it doesn't have a bunch of stripes on it. All you need to do really is to just put a bunch of tape on it and then spray paint
Right. It really was just more of the theme. What I did is I stuck what I had in my my box of parts, so just some generic stuff. And then this is a Fender Shawbucker, which I bought, hadn't used, and then I put a couple of lipstick tube pickups in there from Seymour Duncan that were just lying around. Now, I will admit, I got a decent bridge, because if you don't get a decent Floyd, they play like crap.
Yeah.
But even the tuners, all I had at the time were left-handed tuners, so they actually go backwards. And all just designed to be basically like Eddie's, just what parts do I have lying around? So
all I was saying is that the only thing you need to do is to get the style with the tape correct, and then spray paint it, and then you'll be good.
Yeah.
he did that with bicycle paint.
I know.
That's the thing that's so crazy to me. The white paint was bicycle paint.
Talk about the guy who literally lived the American dream, coming here on a fucking boat.
This is terrible. Clearly, I made a terrible choice in trying to pit Justin and Sean against each other because they have.
We're bonding together so that
this is so we don't hate each other later.
Yeah, we can hate each other later, but this is the warm up round. So yeah. Clearly, you know what side of the fence I'm on. AC/DC. Saved 2020.
Guys, we have a super chat to drink for. Orbital 1970 Goat says Jesse is no Hugo, but good job there. Thank you very, very much.
It was a good delivery.
It was excellent.
Thank you. I'm a little rusty, but appreciate
The trombone will do.
Did you even get a chance to pee between the?
No, I got to pee real quick.
Before we dive
let me get up and pee and do a couple things.
Yeah. Get yourself situated because we really didn't take any time in between. We were pretty fired up.
I didn't even give my normal outro to the show because I was so ready.
I know. I was like, "Be excellent to each other." You're like, "Bitch, it's you're quoting Ghostbusters and throwing down." Don't pee, okay?
Hey, while he's doing that, I noticed we got Sweet Pea in the chat, and I was talking to her on the matriarchy about my dog Elsa, and she was going gaga over the dog beard. You mind if I bring her in for a minute to kind of show her to Sweet Pea?
Oh, we love the pupperdoos.
All right, hang on.
He loves the pupperdoos.
Oh yes, and you got a few super chats too.
A few?
Yeah, I think so.
We're caught up.
You were highlighting one.
What? Yeah, I just read that one. As the Jesse No Hugo, good job in there. We drank for it. Where were you? You and Sean were still having your male bonding.
Yeah. Stephen Meza said, "Fuck Floyd Roses." Fuck you for not being able to afford one. I don't know. Jesse plays guitar too. Yeah, she knows.
So
did you hear that, Sean?
I did. I'll admit I am not the biggest Floyd Rose fan because they're so temperamental when you set them up. After they're set up, then they're great to go. But I will also say, have you ever worked with a licensed Floyd? Not one made by Floyd Rose, but a licensed Floyd, the real cheap ones? Nope. They are complete and utter shit. They are the bane of my existence. I had one on Monster that I paid $40 for in the used bin, and after about a year, I took it off because the actual locking nut, every time you locked it down, it went out of tune, which it should never do.
Yeah, that's.
So I've got that in my bin of parts to shoot out in the desert.
I've had the luxury of my guitar teacher. He had a Wolfgang, guitar. So, oh,
Sweet pea, this is Elsa with her little dog beard. See?
oh, it's a little puppy.
And she's a doxy. So,
You're making it very hard to hate you during this debate.
whoa, see, she gets a little nervous. Her sister's much better about being...
Put her down. Put her down.
See? Say hello.
Okay,
all right.
put her down.
All right. Okay, ready?
I think you're echoing a little bit.
I am?
Yeah, if you have the speaker on, yeah.
Hang on. Better?
If you put in headphones, probably would work a little better. Unless it's Jesse, who's currently visiting Jeff in the bathroom, I guess.
Whoa.
I know what you're talking about.
We're right here.
Do you hear it now when I'm talking?
Yeah?
Okay. Did you hear an echo?
No, but no, I think it's on your end.
It's
my end or Jesse's end?
Your end, Sean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see. Hang on.
Yeah, just put in headphones. It'll probably solve it. This is going to be fun. We established that we like each other early on with common interest, and then we rip into each other. It's going to be fun.
All right, that should take care of it.
All right.
Hang on. Let me try something else. Hang on. What about now? Still there? Here, I'll just do a little bit of talk, and you tell me if you hear an echo.
Well, it's not you. It's when other people talk.
Oh, so you can hear yourself echoing. Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me try doing the headset, and we'll know for sure.
Yeah. Tag AC/DC song, Justin. Tag what AC/DC song? What AC/DC song do you want?
How about now?
Stephen Meza.
We good?
We're not hearing any echo on our end. We haven't really been hearing much, period.
Justin, you hearing me at all? Or is he still hearing it?
I'm hearing you, yeah.
No,
but I'm saying, are you hearing an echo now?
No, you're good.
Okay, it's got to be on my end, and it's fixed.
All right, cool.
We are toxic masculinity. Oh, yes, God. We are.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Stephen Meza says tag AC/DC song, Justin. I don't know what that means. Do you want? Look,
Steve,
the best thing to come out of 2020 is AC/DC. I don't know what you're talking about, but
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
Favorite AC/DC song
again, because that little bag we had the other day, that like one, but you have some brands are just all like I'm still pulling curls out of my teeth.
Steve actually is a friend of mine, and actually he was in my last video. Him and his wife Ann were helping me out, and I'm currently working on a video where Ann did the big board challenge. And I don't want to give it away whether she beat the challenge or not, but her goal was to basically shoot something out of every single recoil caliber or recoil category I had, including up to the 50 Alaskan. So she gave it her all, and I will say that if you want to find out what happens when the video comes up, you'll see.
Sean, is that the friend you quote stealing solo with?
Yes.
Nice.
Oh,
okay. We have a super chat from Kendo to get us back on track.
Two weeks, Sean. We're doing our new launch, so anybody that you know that wanted to get one.
Cool. Hey, Steve-O.
So
I'll text him actually.
So thank you for the super chat, Kendo. He's getting us back on track here. He says, "But Back to the Future was a film that impacted culture and is a timeless classic." Jeff, would you agree that the audience was Marty? Also, how big is Batista's dick?
Anyway, that aside, Kendo, you're correct about everything because you're a good dude. But Back to the Future was a film that impacted culture. Yeah, it is a timeless classic.
Yep.
And I would agree that the audience was Marty. He was our POV character.
Yep.
Because every truly great adventure film needs a POV character.
All
and so everything Kendo said was the truth. So Nib High Football rules.
All of these things are accurate. And you're not wrong on any of these points, but it still stands that there is while the cultural impact of Back to the Future I think is greater than V for Vendetta, there is no greater relevance for Back to the Future for November 5th that outweighs Guy Fawkes Day. To me, November 5th, it's remember, it's got its own little ditty, it's got its whole thing. November 5th belongs to V.
Question: how many people are we? I disagree because a 2005 film versus a film from 1985.
No, not a 2005 film, a 2006 film. Not even, yeah.
So
based on the 1982 comic that came out before the script for BTTF was written.
We're only
around an historical event.
We're only debating film to film though.
We're saying who does it belong to, and so
Back to the Future. The point hold on to make my point. I was trying to say is, yes, remember the 5th of November is quotable. I guarantee 90% of the people that know that shit from the movie. Back to the Future came out 21 years before, which is a more popular movie, meaning more people saw it. Therefore, more people would know that than that. Because more people.
Can I just? I have two things to say about this. Like, first off, to your friend Sean, I forgot.
Steve.
Steve. My favorite song. I'm not gonna, say, Back in Black or anything. It's What Do You Do for Money, Honey? That's one of my favorites. But second, I just recently watched a couple of weeks ago with my younger cousins, Back to the Future. It was their first time watching. It was a 16-year-old girl who could never, she was making a cake at the time, and she's really interested in that, and she's on her phone all the time. And she's 16 years old, and my other cousin, who's 10 years old, who was my age when I saw it for the first time. Both of them, I will say that with my older cousin, she was on her phone less than I've ever seen her on her phone in her entire life. I've known her since she was 2 years old. She was glued to the screen. And my little cousin, he said a few things. Like, I loved the scene with Goldie Wilson, saying mayor, he liked that. He liked that for some reason, and he loved, a couple of other scenes. When Biff ran his car into the manure truck. He loved that.
Oh, who doesn't love that?
He loved that. He loved the action scenes. But these scenes are very impressionable onto kids, and a lot of kids from a young age, and even from people who were. My grandparents who saw it in the theaters with my mom and my uncles, they were like, oh, this is pretty cool. Even my grandparents who reacted to Cecil, in those videos, my grandpa hates fantasy films. He hates Lord of the Rings. He doesn't like fantasy films. He doesn't like things that can't actually happen. But he's, open-minded to the point where say, oh, time travel? Well, if that's possible, okay. He's
Steve,
open to that. He's open to that. But
I think that stuff's all lovely, but at the end of the day, I think that more people associate the 5th of November with V for Vendetta than Back to the Future. I think that's the truth.
That is, oh, come on. More people have not seen V for Vendetta.
I'm not saying that they have. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying more people associate the 5th of November with V for Vendetta than Back to the Future. I would never argue the other point. Sean, why don't you on this? Sean, why don't you bet?
I would say, as far as cultural impact directly, it's hard to argue that V for Vendetta could have been as impactful as Back to the Future. It was kind of a story of a generation. If you're an 80s kid, you grew up watching that. But as far as cultural significance is in regards to actual days or the importance around it, that's where I'm saying V for Vendetta is so quintessential around the 5th of November because it's basing its storyline on the gunpowder plot with Guy Fawkes Day.
Yeah.
But as far as which one is more of a culturally relevant film or more culturally impactful, I'd have to give BTTF on that, but
I'm with you. I think we're actually all in agreement on that. But when it comes to the actual 5th of November, it's just the cultural relevance aside, I think Back to the Future is a better movie, hands down.
But 6 years ago.
But all of
show that though.
But all of those things aside, the majority of people, when they think remember the 5th of November, are not thinking this.
remember the 5th of November. Bitch, please. That's a red letter date in the history of science. November 5th, 1955. That was the day Doc Brown invented time travel. That comes from my Facebook feed 6 years ago to the day.
So proving that you still cared about this 6 years
proving
ago.
that other people made this meme 6 years ago. I mean, this is a topic that people have been fighting for a decade almost.
7 whole people liked it.
I wouldn't pull that card.
7 whole people.
Yes, because it was before I ever had
7 people
that let's see.
Number 8 over here. but no, seriously.
I'm just saying,
7. We're in single digits there, Jeff.
No.
Oh, sorry. 7 years ago, again.
The thing is,
I posted it.
The thing is, proving, as we've seen with SJWs, none of us believe that SJWs are the majority, but they certainly have driven the shape of cinema for a long time now. Just because there are people who adamantly out there fucking love Back to the Future and swear by November 5th as Back to the Future Day does not mean that just because those people are super passionate about it being the case, that more people associate November 5th with that than V for Vendetta.
Why did you even mention SJWs?
Hold on. And just because V for Vendetta is full of pseudo-intellectualism doesn't make it relevant ever. So, I mean...
It's not about the relevance. It's about the fact that when people hear remember they think about Guy Fawkes Day.
Because the people that watch that movie and quote it, it's a small demographic of a certain type of person. I don't think the cultural relevance has to be relevancy. More people have to be...
Hi, Cat.
The cat.
I'm just saying,
Wait, I got a joke for you. Somebody pick up the cat.
I was trying to get your pancake in frame, but he keeps moving.
Huh? Jesse pulled a Donald Trump. She grabbed a pussy.
You are.
Well, that's a drink for that.
That girl will get his wife to check you out if you're wet.
Now, hold on. We have 2 super chats.
We do have 2 super chats, and I want to get back to drinking because all this adrenaline's burning through my buzz.
Especially from that pussy grabbing, I guess.
Kendo Slice, who makes such articulate and intellectual points for a guy from Appalachia, says V for vagina needed a historical event to reference to be a thing. Back to the Future stands on its own. Better movie, happy Flux Capacitator Day. It is a better movie. We're not arguing that, but you're a Flux Capacitor. But you're also you are also proving our point though too. It's referencing a real historical event.
But that doesn't make the movie more relevant.
It doesn't make the movie more relevant. It makes the day more relational to that particular film because that's the whole thing. I don't agree with what you're saying about only certain movies. I think Jesse? like Back to the Future, V for Vendetta, while smaller overall footprint period, had a similar.
You're not in frame.
Had a similar thing where it really appealed strongly to a niche demographic, but had a fairly wide mass appeal.
Here's the thing: the argument you're making is the same argument I'll make against Independence Day. Does the 4th of July is that the only thing? No, people think of other things.
We lost them.
Oh, they got that heated that quickly.
Wow.
I mean, between you and me though, are you more for, V for Vendetta being the 5th of November, or are you like me? You was just like, yeah.
I'll admit that so the 5th of November, that's the first thing that comes to mind actually is remember the 5th of November.
Okay.
And it's not until later in the day I'm like, oh yeah. November the 5th, 1955. It comes later, but it happens.
All right,
hold on. Sean, do you remember the second part, though? Most people remember the 5th of November. Okay, what about it? It's just a day.
I don't remember the rhyme, I'll admit, but I remember that it's Guy Fawkes Day, and that it is from 1605 when the gunpowder plot was actually put into place.
I had it. You know what? Here's the thing, though. People have told me, like, oh, yeah, Guy Fawkes Day dates back to 1605. That was Guy Fawkes. Did not exist in 1605. I'm sorry. Did he not? Did he?
Isn't that when he did the thing? Guy Fawkes is a real person, Joe.
Yeah, he was, dude.
Mm-hmm.
He's made up for Vendetta. Guy Fawkes is a real dude.
Okay. Go ahead. Prove me wrong.
He died in 1606.
Guy Fawkes, also known as Guido Fawkes, while fighting for the Spanish.
Guido?
While fighting
He's my
for the
favorite.
Spanish.
I quit. I'm done arguing. Guido.
She turned Jeff. She turned Jeff.
Woo! Guido. We're done. I want meatballs. Let's get Italian food.
Was a member of a provincial English Catholics who was involved in the failed gunpowder plot of 1605. By the way, someone in the chat did know the second part of it because they said
I didn't know his name was Guido, though.
Yeah,
I didn't know that either. That's new to me.
We all learned something today. Ninja Lawyer said, Guy Fawkes did give us one of my favorite movies, but Back to the Future did give us that kick-ass theme park ride.
That's true.
But no, it's no longer there. So thank you.
It was awesome.
But no,
very sad.
But the thing is, like, V for Vendetta, like the Guy Fawkes stuff, isn't even about Guy Fawkes anymore. That movie is so forgettable because the Guy Fawkes mask is with Anonymous now. That is no longer associated with the film or the comic. They have taken it and it's the thing, and that's fine. But that goes to show you how little the movie actually means when somebody else can co-opt something from it. Hold on, and make it theirs, and people forget. But nobody forgets that a DeLorean is in Back to the Future. So much as fact that when they made a documentary about the life of John DeLorean, they get all the people from Back to the Future. No, we're not done. I wasn't done making my point.
Okay. I'm just
saying, because
I think your point is just wrong, though.
It's not wrong. How can it?
It's based on a flawed premise, though.
How is it? What's the premise? I didn't finish, but tell me what the premise is.
Well, you interrupt me all the time.
I didn't finish the premise. Please tell me what the premise is.
When you tell me my
please tell me what the premise is.
Justin, I'm just letting this go.
You're starting with the whole like Guy Fawkes.
Where's
you're
my
saying
popcorn?
you're saying that when people see a DeLorean, it reminds them of
popcorn right now.
But you're trying to say when people see a Guy Fawkes mask, it doesn't remind them of V for Vendetta?
No, because Anonymous took it over a decade ago. It's their thing now. It's first off, it's the Guy Fawkes mask. It's not the V for Vendetta.
Anonymous?
Are you fucking serious?
I'm not kidding.
Google Anonymous right now.
Okay.
Seriously, Google them. They're a huge online.
I believe you. I just literally, I'm not kidding. I'm not.
Okay, I'm Jesse. I know you're on my team, but you got to know this. Come on.
I literally don't.
Anonymous mask. Just click Anonymous mask.
Okay, I literally don't. Okay.
My point is, they have co-opted the symbol of the whatever Guy Fawkes is so much that remember the 5th of November. Even if you remember that part and you see that mask, you're not guaranteed to go, oh, that movie, because it has become something different in 20. What year did they come a thing? 2009, 8, 9. Okay, I remember this though. This was a thing. They're still around.
Response anonymous. Blah. Purchases. Blah. 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 But the funny thing is actually the way they used this mask is the exact same way they used it in the movie.
You mean because it's based off of a real event?
The map, everyone coming together with the mask?
The him stuff, and then the comic book. So we can't even give credit to the film.
Hold on though, because I didn't know any of that. That's actually kind of neat because the mask is based on the guy who existed, right? But that scene from the movie, that's one of the big, iconic scenes from the movie.
It's from the book.
Is from the book written where everyone coming together, using the masks for anonymity. So literally, this group was inspired by the movie to use the mask for the same purpose that it was used in the movie.
In the book first.
From the book, from the original source material, which caught on in culture originally because of that scene in the movie. I think far more people know it from the movie than from the graphic novel. And as a result, another group, while doing a protest, used the exact same concept from this movie to disguise their identities for this protest.
And the movie is less remembered because of that. Just because, here's the thing, not everyone's going to know what they're from.
But see, wait, I have a counterpoint to that, Jeff, if I may.
Okay.
Because here's the thing, like you're talking about the DeLorean, and I happen to be a car guy.
Yeah.
And the DeLorean, if it wasn't in that movie, would never be remembered for anything. And it's just like the mask. It's like that car was co-opted by the movie, because I'm being honest and saying, in all ways, the DeLorean is a piece of shit.
I agree. I don't want one.
It is a completely terrible driver. It has an underpowered motor. It was overpriced.
It can't go 88 miles per hour.
No, it can't. And even better, it was so bad with crash tests, it was like embarrassing. And in order to try and keep his company afloat, although he was acquitted in court, John DeLorean was apparently trying to do a cocaine deal just to keep the car going because it was so bad.
Go watch the documentary. It's on Hulu. It's awesome. It's Framing DeLorean.
I believe it.
It's the only thing with Alec Baldwin that I would recommend you watch outside of Beetlejuice and Hunt for Red October.
You're not preaching. I mean, you are preaching to the choir, but you're not giving us any more information that we already know. Well, I mean, just because Here's the thing. Though. I'll put it to you this way. With Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the concept of that movie is that the director and everybody around that movie, from what I understand, Willy Wonka wasn't really supposed to be, even though it was based on a novel, it wasn't supposed to, be this big candy production, or anything. It wasn't supposed to have everlasting gobstoppers or any bullshit like that. Their idea, from the behind the scenes documentary, if I remember correctly, the Wonka bar was supposed to last forever, and the movie was supposed to be temporary, but the movie lasted forever. And the Wonka bar just kind of faded out into an oblivion. The movie lasted forever. The DeLorean kind of faded away. The movie lasted forever.
Actually, the DeLorean is now in high demand because of the movie.
Hold on. Unlike the Guy Fawkes mask, the mask lasted forever. The movie has kind of, just been sort of, nobody really thinks, nobody remembers the movie as much as they remember the Guy Fawkes mask. They remember a product from it. They don't remember the movie initially.
It's not Reese's Pieces.
Here's where I'll challenge you on that, though. The Guy Fawkes mask was not invented for V for Vendetta. The Guy Fawkes mask is a traditional part of the Guy Fawkes Day in the UK. It was invented as a part of that prior to the writing of this book, prior to the creation of the film.
You just killed your own argument because your argument with me was just because it's
wait for it.
Okay, let's finish point.
Because So they took this thing that was very, very not relevant in anywhere in culture. Before I finish my point, though, I do want to drink for this. As Ninja Lawyer Steve said,
I gotta go get more beer.
I think you can drink some of mine since you drink more than I do. Your sips are bigger than mine. It's not.
Look at my body compared to you.
I know it's not.
Look at my body compared to you. Look at my foot compared to your head.
Ninja looks really funny. That's ridiculous. Ninja Lawyer Steve said, "I think you had your makeup shit too early." Aha! I think you sent that super chat too early.
He said shit though. We didn't take makeup shits.
Oh, shit. The makeup shit. I thought you meant like the makeup.
I didn't need to know that. No. I slept on that couch.
We didn't bang on this
Justin,
couch.
Actually, you...
What?
Justin, you slept on that couch the night...
You bought it.
The night we put it together, okay?
And one time after that, I think.
And we still hadn't banged
hadn't banged on it yet.
Didn't we bang on it when my mom was here and we were sleeping on us because...
Have we ever banged? No, we did.
The couch part, but never like when it's bed.
No,
Wait. Did I just hear you say you banged on the couch while your mom was asleep?
No. While my mom was in town for my birthday, Jesse's like, why don't you take the bed? It's easier for you to get out. So we took the futon.
So we did bang on it during that week, though.
No.
Yeah, because she left a couple times, remember?
Private conference.
See, no, I just didn't want to. It's personal shit. I just want to say it out loud. But yeah,
fair enough. But
I thought we'd had at least one. Okay.
Believe me.
I was just gonna say, if you actually pulled that off without her knowing,
right? That would have been
stories.
By the way, how is she?
Pretty good. She's got a job interview tomorrow. So really everybody out there, put some positive energy for mother bullshitter, and help her get this job. Let's just
positive energy for Mama Bullshitter.
She needs it. It's the only thing I'd ask from anybody right now. Just send it.
Honestly, like the best thing that I could say to Jeff after we end a conversation is say hi to your mom for me.
Yeah. God, I love that movie so much, dude. That is because what's weird is when we talk, I don't know if we're having a conversation or quoting Back to the Future at times because we just slip right into it.
You two are get pretty into it. So to finish that point, the Guy Fawkes mask was a nothing thing, maybe like a DeLorean, like a nothing thing in the culture. So V for Vendetta not only makes this thing, right, something, brings it into relevance, makes it a thing, but its current cultural relevance is based off its usage in the film, not its original usage. I argue that is an even stronger, more compelling point to show how much V for Vendetta bent the culture.
Well, and not only that, but the meaning of its use is why it got picked up by Anonymous, whereas the DeLorean, everybody just thought it was cool.
Exactly. So
yeah, if you're gonna
which it is, but I'm just saying, you know.
So I think it's an even more compelling argument towards that point. Personally, Kendo Slice says, Guido, did someone say something about lasagna?
Yeah, Tony. Oh, Tony Schiavone. I wish you understood that reference.
I don't know, right? You need this buzzer.
I got it.
Since we have another one, do you want to grab us some?
I do indeed.
Donka.
Oh, just if I can share this from my last video, just because while we're waiting. So, did you watch my last video where we were seeing how many pumpkins you could shoot through with a 50 caliber revolver?
I have it queued up, but I keep wanting to give it my full attention. That was the first one of type of your videos that I ever watched. Was actually one of your pumpkin videos.
Yeah. This is the bullet afterwards. Now, I just want to show you that is a 380 grain bullet compared to a full 9mm cartridge, not the bullet, the full cartridge.
Whoa. Yeah, that's good.
Oh wow.
That's what.
Matt Deckard has a great super chat.
All right. Tight, and that's perfect because Jeff has
I have multiple beers.
Jeff has fresh bazaars.
The hand goes that way.
Yeah, I'm only doing one martini. If I drank martinis the whole night, I don't think I'd be able to stand.
That's
totally
good. That's what we wanted, but okay.
Thank you, Matt Deckard. He says positive energy for the interview. Good old Matt Deckard.
You are officially my favorite.
What a
Anybody
cool
that does
guy.
Goodbye My Mom is
These
instantly.
are, yeah, I mean, this is positive energy. Yeah.
Can we call her Mama Hicks?
That's exactly what Dion calls her. Of course you can call her that.
Excellent.
The thing is, though, Sean, a lot of people still don't realize my name is Jeff in general, so I just figured, why give our name? People still don't know my name. They don't know who anyone is on the show. They just hear the voice from the Star Wars videos and call me the guy.
You're the guy.
The bullshit guy.
Videos. Yeah, you're the bullshitter guy.
You're the bullshitter.
When people recognize me in public, they're like, you're the guy from World Class Bullshitters. No one.
Like, even though with every single stream, you're like, I'm Jeff Hicks, and
okay, let's see that.
you know, you introduce Dion Green, like, and nobody pays attention to the intro.
The one, the only, Dion Green.
He knows what's up.
I've done Jeff's intro to him before.
I've done your intro to you too.
Yeah, mine's easy.
You doing Little Dion was the best.
Well,
We'll do it.
hold on, we gotta take a drink for that one.
Oh, I did.
Oh, sorry.
I already did.
Appreciate that,
Cheers,
buddy.
Matt. He's a good dude. Hope you're doing well. He's in our area, so I've actually met him before.
Oh, nice.
We have karaoke'd a few times.
His little drawing
Deckard.
profile looks like the guy from LA Noire.
Well, he always wears a dapper suit and a dapper hat. So this is
I respect that.
this is
Matt,
his
I remember the day I got my suit last year because I had always told myself, Jeff, you're gonna get a suit one day. I want just like James Bond, not like any other fucking fictional character. I wanted a suit just like James Bond. And so I bought one, and it was a cool thing. So I always respect the suit game. It's always like, because when Dustin was in college, he had a bet to lose weight, and he won the bet by not eating. But he won, and he lost all the weight, and he won the cash, and he bought a suit, and he went to WrestleMania, and he had the.
I forgot that Matt actually designed suits.
Oh, nice.
So if you ever need some custom life,
Always kind of do with my build.
that's true.
This arm's slightly longer than this arm. The line can have you.
If you do get that James Bond suit, Jeff, you've got to do the the button thing, that you always see James Bond doing.
Oh, with
his collar, with his cufflinks,
Well, that's the Rock that always does that too.
Oh no, I know. With him, it's like every shot. By the way, I was going to say because obviously I wasn't on WCBS, but my favorite Bond personally from Sean Connery is still Dr. No, and there's a couple of reasons, but the main one for me is. Well, actually, two scenes. Number one, the first time he introduces himself as James Bond with the cigarette in his mouth while he's playing Baccarat, that is like the smoothest motherfucker right there. Bond.
He is the
James Bond. It's just so slick.
There was sorry, Kara, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. The other one is when he knows the guy put like the spider in his bed, and so he gets up and he's waiting for him to come in. And he shoots the pillows twice, and he counts how many times he shoots, and so he makes the guy throw the gun away, and he's pulling it forward, and then he puts it at James, and he goes, "You've had your 6." Bam! And just shoots, like doesn't break a sweat, doesn't change his mind.
That was censored. You know that, right?
No.
The original line is, "You've had your 6, and now I'll have mine," and he shoots him 6 more times.
Nice.
Part of the movie, he shoots him 6 times in the back like that, but they cut it because it was too violent and in mean spirit. So that just just shoots him the 2 times he falls. But there is, "You've had your 6 and now I'll have mine."
Nice.
I love that line. But
by the way, what that reminds me of is you've seen the movie The Crow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Have you read the graphic novel?
Yeah.
I love the graphic novel version of the scene in Gideon's pawn shop, because when he finally gets the knife out of his hand, he grabs a Walther, or he grabs a he had initially held a Walther PPK on the Crow, and he smacked it out of his hand before putting the knife through it. And when he gets it out of his hand, he pulls out a revolver, and he goes, "I got something for you, punk." And he goes, "Mr. Gideon, you've completely forgotten your Walther." And he just pulls it and he shoots him 6 times. Empties the magazine, and he goes, well, drops the magazine, and he goes, "So much for the single bullet theory." I love the dark humor of that.
I love shit like that.
That's fun.
You should look at the comic one day, because it's so weird looking. Yeah. Like, I love it, because it almost looks like
it's dark as shit.
But he's like, yeah, it's dark. You look coked out in the eyes. Look, it's cool. It's really like stark. That's what I like about it. The black and white darkness, very sincere.
And in the book, he got shot in the back of the head, which actually split his iris and caused the skin to split across his face. In college, I actually did that costume, and I actually took the latex for the fake skin and did the scar and put in a white contact, so I had one white eye and one brown eye.
Oh, cool.
Which freaked people out.
That's really cool.
And then, like the comic book, I had a wig on, and I tied 357 Magnum shells in my hair for each person I had supposedly killed.
Nice.
That's badass.
That's a great story. It's a very sad story, but that's the beauty of a comic, though. You can tell those kind of stories. You kind of close the page, go, damn, and you think about it. A lot of times, like, if a movie has a dour ending, but it's not done well, it ruins the whole thing. I think a comic has a little more leeway in terms of, like, a bad ending is still kind of...
Fun fact.
Agreed.
I'm sure you don't know, that I'm sure Sean doesn't know, and then I'm fairly sure Justin doesn't know, is that My Chemical Romance's debut album, 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge, it's a concept album, and the concept story in it is very and actually they put the seeds of that concept in their pre-debut album, and it's very drawn from The Crow.
Yeah,
cool.
I'm aware. I still think it's
It's an incredible album. It's one of my favorite of all time, and I don't give a shit if you don't like it. That's fine.
Who is it again? What band?
3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge, My Chemical Romance.
Oh, okay.
It's
it explains everything.
Love the band, hate the fans.
I know how you feel.
I
do too, but I knew exactly what you were going to say.
You knew it was going. Right. So that's what I said. I don't know if you know this. I'm not sure of that. But
also very interesting thing. If you've seen the original movie The Crow, the actor who plays Gideon, when James O'Barr drew the comic book, he actually based that character on that actor.
Nice.
So when they went to make the movie, he was like, maybe we could get him. And he was totally interested. And so when you read the comic book after seeing the movie, you're like, wow, they really got the right guy. And then I listened to an interview where he was talking about that. I was like, well, that makes sense then.
No shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, speaking of perfect casting, Jeff, should I... I'm hesitant of this.
Well, I think we all need drinks, so...
Sweet Pea, yes! Welcome to the Black Parade was my fucking XTS anthem. Yes!
Is that the second one?
That's their third studio album.
Did that come out in 2006 or 7?
Yeah, that was that one.
There was a dude my size.
It was before my time, and there was all these older people who were like, My Chemical Romance.
Sweet Pea,
the goth people,
When were you born there, buddy?
Take a guess.
Justin's our baby.
95.
Bingo. Nailed it. Dude, nailed
Summer of the Power Rangers,
baby.
I'm the old man here. I'm 81.
Dude, the Power Rangers movie. The Power Rangers movie is when I realized that Sammy Hagar was in Van Halen. And I heard Dreams for the first time.
I knew you were going to bring that song up because I was like, I remember that song was on that album because I knew who Eddie Van Halen was. Here's the thing.
Yeah, I didn't. I did not make that connection. I heard that on the radio so many times. And I asked my mom, like, hey, like, who is that? Like, oh, it's Sammy Hagar. And I was looking like Eagles Fly. I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is not true. This is not what I thought. Like, oh, he's a part of Van Halen. I knew of, David Lee Roth category.
Oh, yeah.
I did not know of Oh God, we can be here all day when it comes to this, but
not on that anyway.
Well, and I was just going to say real quick on just to give you an idea of my age. When the Power Rangers first showed up in the early 90s, I was old enough to go, when did Voltron lose their copyright? I was like, well, I watched Voltron as a kid. What is this?
Nerd.
Well, to be fair, Super Sentai existed before Voltron.
I just want to say to Sweepy though, quickly, because I've been trying to say this, and y'all, I get it. We're all excited, to make fun of Justin for being a baby and to lord over the rest of us. We had to walk up to school and shit
in the snow, in the desert,
in the snow, in the desert,
uphill both ways.
Sweepy,
like you have hills in the desert.
They're called sand dunes.
Hey, you know what? You know what? To be fair, I watched all of the Lord of the Rings trilogy in theaters. As a kid, as a youngster.
I watched all the Lord of the Rings films with you and you
That's
a couple months
true.
ago.
I know. The extended ones, which matter.
What I'm trying to say to Sweet Pea is that this is a thing that some people know. If you send me a message, if I don't see it in the chat, I may not see it. But if you send me a super chat that says, when I was a young boy, I have to at least finish singing the intro. That is the law. I have a few listeners who still do that. We'll just drop a tour up there. It doesn't have to be anything extensive or whatever. You throw a little tour up there, and all it says is when I was a young boy, and I will sing the full introduction. Well, not the full introduction. I will sing the full radio edit introduction.
This is like Cartman with Come Sail Away.
Yes.
I'm sailing away. And then he's got to sing the whole song.
Except I don't phone it in. So that's the difference. I don't sing the whole song, but I also don't phone it in. So not a single time. Yeah, it was. It's the thing. It's the thing. It's not even my favorite song of theirs or my favorite album, but I do love the song. I do love the album. It is one of my go-tos for karaoke, and it is one of those ones where, like, after I do Black Parade at karaoke, I need a minute for my voice and my breath to come back.
By the way, Matt Deckard, I like that I've got the touch, the power, and the Allspark, I guess, right? Some Transformers. So do I get everything?
Okay.
I didn't say when I was a young boy, did I?
You got the touch. You've got the power.
I got the Bazaar.
And the Bazaar.
I've got the martini.
I've got the youthfulness and inexperience, whatever.
As cool as all the shaken not stirred stuff is, and as much as I blend into that forever, from a bartender's perspective, I gotta say, fuck you for making that a thing.
That's the first thing my mom told me when she came back from bartending school.
Because stirring martinis is so much easier. It is so much easier. It doesn't bruise the ice. It gets a more even chill in it. There's no fucking reason to shake a martini. In fact, prior to James Bond making it a thing, it was considered the stupid way to make a martini.
Maybe.
And in the books, he liked them stirred, not shaken.
Yeah, so this isn't Ian Fleming's. I don't know whose fault it is, but it's not Ian Fleming's.
It's a woman's fault. Joanna Harwood. She's credited as J.M. Harwood.
It's usually a woman's fault.
Oh, no, it's literally she had to hide her name. But a woman wrote a lot with what's his name, Richard Maybaum. Two people worked on this Bond movie, so. Saying it's funny, you can always make that argument. Oh, women are ruining James Bond. Well, if you're a martini enthusiast, they've been doing it the whole time. So
fucking bitches. Sweepy, I love that song so much too. That for me though, my car one is I'm Not Okay, I Promise. That shit happens. It was so funny. I driving up from work the other day. It comes on in the car, full volume. I go, that's okay, I always do. Jeff and I go to breakfast the next day, and just somehow we stumbled upon, because of the family-friendly news song, we stumbled upon a recommended video for some dude who was feeling emo, and then proceeds to do in a much more obviously, produced version, exactly what I had done in my car the day before. And I'm like, it's me. And it made me so happy because I have no fucking shame. If you are if you were an LA resident, you may drive past me on the freeway at some point, or run up next to me at an intersection and just see me going fucking nuts in the car. And if you drive at the right part of the right verse of the right song, I just may turn and scream it at you through your window, and you'll be very confused unless you watch.
You did that to me once.
I did.
Have you guys ever heard of Frog Leap Studios?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you look them up on YouTube, this guy does like metal covers of just about anything you can think of.
Oh, that guy with the long hair?
Yes.
I didn't know
he's cut it short now, and he's got like a braided beard.
Oh, like Scott Ian?
Like Scott Ian, yes. And a couple of my favorites recently, he did All That She Wants by Ace of Base, which was hysterical. And I saw him actually do this, and I'll be honest in saying, if you think of it as a parody, his version of Wet Ass Pussy is better than Cardi B's.
Most Wet Ass Pussies would be better than Cardi B's.
I don't want to think
the best thing to come out of WAP is Ben Shapiro.
Accurate. It's the funniest shit ever.
Can I be honest?
Look,
hold on a minute.
I've never seen him more sexy than that one video.
Okay, you did watch the video.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, no, I watched it. I watched the whole video, and I didn't get the memes because it was pretty clear to me what he was getting at was when he said she had a disease was that he's like, okay, if you need a bucket and a mop, something wrong.
I did watch the whole video, and while yes, the memes were purposefully taking things to a certain context, the tenor of the whole video was incredibly prudish.
Of course.
I'm not disagreeing with you that, it was taken to the nth degree and he was lampooned a little, out of context and whatnot. But the tenor was, he set himself up for it. He walked into it. The tenor of that whole thing was incredibly prudish. It's one thing, because then he lost the thread of the point he was trying to make. The whole point he was trying to make is that Cardi B's wet ass pussy is what we're trying to embrace as feminism, and this isn't feminism, which is fair, but you lose that argument when it sounds like what you're actually doing is arguing against wet ass pussy, which is really what he sounded like he was doing, like pride.
Well, and see, the thing I got from it, and this is, I'll put it to you this way, none of this shocked me because it's Ben Shapiro, which is, regardless, I mean, like, I'll agree with him on some of his points, but the thing is, when you watch him, he reminds me of that kid you knew in high school who was really smart and knew it, and he thought he was smarter than everybody else, so he had to make this really dry humor that was just obnoxious.
He reminds me...
And I'm just like, Ben... You don't have to go this far, dude. We get your point.
There was a kid in high school that was just like that. I'll never forget. Civics class, senior year. And he makes a Terry Schiavo joke about being a vegetable. Because he exactly what you said. And we all just look at him. The entire class, including the teacher. And he never acted like he was smarter than anyone again. It was such a bad joke that 20 other people were just like...
See, there was a kid like that in my grade. Mm-hmm. And he was in the super smart math class with us and stuff like that. But the thing was that the smart kids all hated him too.
That's what I mean.
So that's the thing, was none of us could stand him. So the whole thing was like, and the teachers hated him because he was just straight up obnoxious. He was always trying to be one of the cool kids and whatnot, and thought he was funny and thought he was clever. And he was so obnoxious that there was Brian Mechanic. I still remember his name.
That's a real name?
Brian Mechanic.
That sounds fake. I don't believe it.
It was spelled like M.
I have a better Brian name, but I'm not going to reveal his name right here.
No, I was making a joke because you said it's spelled like this, and you spelled the exact same way. I'm like,
it's like IK.
Anyway,
or it might have even been in case something like that. But it was whatever it was. It's a real last name. But anyway, Brian. And I will never forget, it was the greatest day ever. It was 7th grade, one of my favorite math teachers of all time. And he was this really congenial, friendly, fun guy. He would do things like once in class, he was teaching us something, going through something on the board, and he was like, if I'm wrong, and I'm never wrong, and then he says, a piece of candy to anyone who can tell me what movie that's from. And I'm like, Princess Bride, bam, gets the candy. So she was that kind of teacher. Like, into fun pop, like nerd culture, like if we were the same age, we'd have been friends, and I will never forget. And he's pretty chill with us too, because we were in this like the nerd math class, so there was only like 12 of us. We all knew each other really well. We had a lot of good rapport, so our teachers were usually like pretty relaxed with us. But there was one day where Brian just wouldn't stop, and the teacher whirled on him and full volume just yelled, "Shut up!" Now we're talking about like a 37-year-old man screaming at a 13-year-old boy, red in the face, beat red, shut up, and just laid into him about how he's not as clever as he thinks he is. He's not as funny as he thinks he is. He's not as smart as he thinks he is. His little gimmick isn't cute. It's not impressing anybody. It's distracting. It's disruptive, and it really needs to stop. And he just fucking ripped him apart, and we're all sitting there like in shock and awe. We're just like, thank you. Thank you for saying literally everything we thought we'd get detention for saying. Fucking
Well, and see, that's what I mean. That is Ben Shapiro. It's like you watch him talk, and when he tries to be quote unquote funny, it just comes across as he's trying way too hard. His humor's way too dry, and he just comes across like that guy where you're just sitting there going, "Oh God, stop talking. Just make your point and move on." Because like dial it back, and if he just wanted to say, "Okay, so here's the lyrics," and I don't see how this is a feminist anthem because it just seems like it's making the wrong message forward, ladies. Exactly. Like, I think a lot of people would have just been like, all right, fair point. But it's that humor where you're just kind of like, oh.
Let me try to make my point 15 different ways and make each one a punchline.
And I'm so smart, I can make it clever.
He reminds me of, to me, he's that Brian Mechanic kid who went home and cried to his mom every night. Why doesn't anyone like me? And his mom said, oh, because they just don't understand you.
You're just too smart and they're jealous.
Never bothered to let him know because you're an obnoxious little shit because he was probably spoiled as all get out. Was told that all his life and was told, oh, you'll be the kid. You'll get your vindication, when you grow up. People will appreciate you, whatnot. And that vindication came way too soon. So he didn't have the chance to go through the appropriate growth arc. And so it just sort of like all that stuff, just kind of all that growth arc that humans usually go through, stopped here. So it's all the things he thinks and all of his ideas and all of his talking points and whatnot, but in the emotional capsule of a nerdy 19-year-old boy.
Yeah, and that's kind of that's why I typically when he goes off on that kind of humor, I'm just like, Ben, shut up, just shut up, shut up.
Yeah, I totally understand that, and I've definitely been in that position where I'm like, is my sense of humor, resonating? And when people are like, oh, shut up, dude, stop, yammering, stop, stop ranting. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, I'll be quiet. But when I was a kid, I never really recognized that. And so it's one of those things where, if you're trying to be funny, you have to know what works for certain crowds and how you can best emulate your humor like most comedians do. And, for me, it was video projects. Whether it was, an honors chemistry project where there was a story that we had to do that involved, British people going to the Antarctic and realizing that the Norwegians got there first, which is really funny, especially because, we're all white dudes, and we can be.
What are you two up to?
No. We were all white dudes, and we're
listening. We were really into your story, but we were distracting Sean because I was listening to your story. We were getting distracted.
We were still debating.
I'm sorry. We were definitely debating.
Okay. So in other words, Justin, shut up. Okay.
No. I was listening, but I kept looking over, and they're whispering, and then it's Jesse's like.
Okay. No.
And I'm like, what the hell's going on?
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No, I want to hear the rest of the story. I'm sorry.
There was no real story. It was just that you need to realize where your humor resonates. You can. Yeah.
Just flowing down a river of thought.
No, and where I agree with you on that, Justin, is let me just take, for example, the attempted humor in Ben Shapiro's video. The way you do that isn't by acting smart and having this little stupid thing going the whole time. Where you end up going, I think he's laughing at the super chat.
No, sure. No. Back of the throat reminds me of my ex-boyfriend. Go ahead.
So no, but your point. If you take, am I missing something?
500, Alex.
What's happening?
I don't know, and
happening?
I don't know.
I'm gonna read the super chat.
Yes,
Greg Kirby says, I once dated an Asian girl named So Wong. Also sounds like James Bond's gonna be a woman confirmed by Lashana. I was hoping for Cavill. Well, I'm holding out hope still that she's just going to be 007 in this movie and not actually.
I would honestly bet money that she will get the moniker of Bond. Or 007, excuse me.
Do it like a Passing the Torch in this movie, but then they won't renew her.
I think she'll die. I think, look it. Maybe it's projected.
So. But maybe she's just a little flash in the
Hold on, hear me out.
Sorry, yeah.
I'm not mad at all. The James Bond franchise is slightly progressive, but not as much as the movie is. I think
they want us to think it's more progressive.
To get people in the theater. And I think you'll get Lashana Lynch in the film as 007 on this mission with Bond, and they'll go back and forth about it. But I would bet money, and that is a Duke's Brothers bet, that he will reclaim the title of 007 by the end, and she will die, or she will get whatever. And I think that girl, that's his wife, will die too, which will send him into the tizzy, and he'll be back as Bond, new actor, Bond 26, restart the franchise.
Possibly, and I loved where people were talking, because I really do love the idea of, we were talking the other day about like bringing it back to period, bringing Harry Caliber period. I think what they could do, I think they could beg Corona disruptions on changing all their future plans, and so they could just say, they'll leave it open-ended. Because they won't leave you with a 007 will return on this one. They're going to, they won't leave you with a James Bond will return, or a 007 returns or any of that. It'll just be like, boom, they'll leave this open-ended idea that Lashana Lynch could be this James Bond moving forwards. We just aren't in production yet for any James Bond movies in that world. However, look, we have Henry Cavill to play James Bond, and we're gonna reboot the universe back in the 60s, and sort of leave this open-ended, like, that's just sort of done, like
that's secretly,
like the Ryan Johnson trilogy.
That's secretly brilliant, because I had been thinking of him coming in as Bond or rebooting it, but they could pull this Spider-Man multiverse shit. Here's how I would play it if I was the Broccoli / Michael G. Wilson. I would lie to, I'm going to use the phrase SJW. I hate to use it so much, but I would lie to these SJW people that aren't going to pay to see my movie, to get them to see my movie. Also, then just basically make a traditional Bond movie. See if the marketing being woke tricks those people into thinking the movie is, and vice versa, and then seeing how you handle it. And then telling those people how much you appreciate them coming and that they're going to do more with her, but they're also starting a new James Bond universe because of the popularity of the Marvel universe, and they're going to take it back to the 60s, and they never touch her fucking movie because she's a terrible actress, and this is not a career-defining moment for your career. This is not your career-defining role. You're in Captain Marvel. You're technically in this movie, but we haven't watched it, so it's not a... Like I said on my stream, is Jerry Lewis's greatest contribution, or what he's most known for, the day the clown died? No, because most people haven't seen it because it hasn't been released. So you think of him from the telethon, you think of him as a comedian. To say that's his career-defining role is a lie. To say her career-defining role is 007 is a lie, because 1, it's not out, 2, she has no career to be defined, and 3, she's most known for Captain Marvel, a billion-dollar picture already out. So don't try to co-opt and make this another first. That's the problem with entertainment, the obsession with first. They think it's a currency, but in reality, it's just a stopgap measure. Every comic book that puts the first on the book again, like Spider-Man, could be at 798. They'll get to 800, then they reboot to number 1. And then they'll do it at issue 20, and they reboot to number 1. And it gets people to buy issue 1, then they don't buy anything else. So they keep putting out issue 1s. And I've even read a thing online, DC's playing with the idea of essentially killing legacy numbering and just putting out books without numbers because numbers are intimidating, because that fuckhead at Marvel Joe Quesada told people it is, and they switched.
Numbers are intimidating?
They think a higher number on a comic book means less people will buy because they can't get into issue 510 as opposed to issue 1.
That's stupid.
It is.
But
stupid.
The thing is that if they look at issue 510 and think, wow, that looks really, really cool, they're going to buy issue 510 thinking this looks really, really cool and sit it on their shelf while they go in search of issue 1. And if they like issue 1, they're going to fucking buy all fucking 508 books in between.
Yeah, of course.
You would think that.
But one thing, though. Let's say this was Spider-Man. Marvel doesn't make a dime unless they buy reprints or trade paperbacks or graphic novel versions. A lot of people like me who are true collectors want single issues. You got to go to third parties. You can actually build a huge Star Wars collection this day and age without giving Disney a penny. So I don't like. That's where I think Marvel's mentality. The Star Wars Legends, the EU, they want to cancel it, but then they want to sell it to you again as Legends and get you to still buy it, even though it doesn't matter. When in reality, fans were reading that shit for 2 reasons: they love Star Wars and it continued the story.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I'm just kind of feeling.
Absolutely. No, you're so.
No, it reminded me of something that Cameron Pasha was saying on my stream. It was very similar. When it came to when it came to exactly what you were saying, Jeff. I think he said verbatim what you were saying, but I'm not going to quote him on that though.
So I did want to respond after the first part of Greg Kirby's super chat.
Very similar
though. So what do you guys call a woman who has one leg shorter than the other?
Eileen.
What do you call a Chinese woman where one leg
Irene.
shorter? Thank you. Okay. All right. Okay.
What do you call a man with no arms and no legs at your front door?
Matt.
Correct. What do you call a man with no arms and no legs on the wall?
Art. What do you call a man with no legs in the middle of your swimming pool?
Dead.
Bob.
What do you call him when he's in the middle of the ocean?
Dead.
Or fucked. He's not dead yet.
Let's be fair. Anyone left in the middle of the ocean is going to die.
That's fair.
Because if you're in the middle... Look, at Michael Phelps isn't going to make it from, I don't know, England to America.
Michael Phelps.
Interesting fact.
Can convince it to bring him to land.
I found out my brother's childhood friend, when we grew up in Virginia, married Michael Phelps' sister.
Oh.
What?
Is she hot?
I don't know. I haven't talked to Doug in years, so I couldn't say, but my mom told me about this, and I was like, what?
This is why you need social media, so I can go find your friend Doug and see what Michael Phelps' sister looks like.
We had the nerd from my grade, like the uber nerd guy from my grade, who we all thought was going to like go to MIT and then like get a super secret government job, went to MIT and now has a super secret government job. It's kind of bizarre. It's like, he was that guy. You're like, Charles, he can solve a Rubik's Cube in under a minute. He's going to, do all this. And he fucking did. You're like, yep, he actually did go become a legitimate rocket scientist or whatever. God knows what else he's doing. Probably. He was involved, Justin tells me he was involved in some like really important.
We can't talk. They couldn't talk about it.
Yeah, but it was like related to something important. It was like he couldn't tell him anything about what he does because it's super secret. Anyway,
that's an awesome job. That
me
totally. We do have another super chat from Dean Approved. $5 is sending some money to you. We appreciate you.
That means this stream has been Dean Approved.
This stream has been Dean Approved.
I'll be right back, guys. I got to get another beverage.
Hey, by the way, Dean, does Dean make YouTube videos?
I don't know.
Yes, he does.
Does he end everyone with "This has been Dean Approved"? Because Dean, you're missing out on a wonderful marketing gimmick. People would buy shirts that say "Dean Approved." This has been Dean Approved. If you make it a thing, this is the way.
I have been saying this to him. This is why I added him to my streams for this week in bullshit. I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, has this stream been Dean Approved? Has it been Dean Approved? Like, get the gavel.
Dean should be like, what Dean reminds me of right now, even though I've never seen him and don't know him and probably never will.
He's a good guy.
Dean reminds me of Chuck Norris from Dodgeball. Remember when they're all voting and he gives the thumbs up and he goes, "Thank you, Chuck Norris." And he goes, "No, thank you, Peter." I like to imagine like when something's Dean Approved, a camera pans over and Dean gives him a thumbs up. Dean Approved. Dean Approved.
I love it. You should definitely cash in on that. Agreed 100%.
Dean Approved is still in the chat. You better bookmark this and just take notes.
This past 2 minutes.
You really should. I was the only one. I feel like I was the only one saying like Dean Approved feels like a great name, and I found out that he does videos, and I was the one who was just like, dude, you should come onto my streams and everything, and he really is a good guy. We talked for about an hour after our stream ended, and he was giving me notes on everything. He's a really good guy. But all he needs to do is just for his intros, just like, "This has been Dean Approved," something like that.
He could do something like, "It's good, but is it Dean Approved?" And just leave it like that. People are like, "Oh shit, is it Dean Approved?"
We'll have to
am I Dean Approved?
We'll have to tune in next week to find out.
Clearly,
it's like Just Some Guy. Have you guys watched Just Some Guy's channel?
Yeah.
I love Just Some Guy. At the end of every video, he goes, "But what do I know? I'm just some guy."
Guy is perfect. I am already subscribed to Dean Approved, as I just double checked. So, the War with Grandpa review.
You know, I got to say, from watching the Dark Council, Jeff, on the High Council, I've actually subscribed to a lot of those guys, like Young Ripa, Mark with a C.
No, they're
the Gospel According to Mark with a C. I love his channel.
Of course we know. Gospel According. He's been around for
the coolest thing about all the guys, though, from the Dark Council is each guy on their own is entertaining to watch. But when they come together, it's like Voltron. You know? They're Voltron, and the guys on WCBS are the Megazord. Okay? You'll have your favorite. We both kick ass. We're both best when we're combined as one. Yeah. So I think the guys and I, as a show, work better than anything I could ever put together. And I think those guys together have something special that I hope, to me, they're a lot like the Double Toasted guys. And yeah, I'm just going to say it. Double Toasted, two black dudes, they run this thing. Yeah, the Dark Council, they play on it. They own it.
Fuck yeah.
So they could be the next whatever version of Double Toast would be, because there's a guy that comes from right in the middle.
Yeah.
There's a certain type of humor on both sides, that there's crossover that everyone's going to like, but not everyone does. So they're going to say shit, I think, that'll appeal to everybody, but not everyone's going to like. I think it's like when Dion and I say shit on the show. It's not about skin color. It's just shit we say to each other that normal people wouldn't say to each other, but it's funny. I think all four of those dudes say weird shit to each other that's fucking funny that most people wouldn't say normally to people, so it makes for a really great show.
Oh, yeah. You cross lines. There are lines you will cross with each other that regular people wouldn't cross, but it's all fine.
Oh, yeah.
Habitual line steppers.
Yes. Oh, no, he just and I was going to read this super chat for him.
Oh, cool.
No, he just went. This is for Justin. I got to wait till he's back to read it, so whatever you're going to say, go for it. There he is. Too late. That Case2 family got sent us a super chat. It says, "Is that my little trash panda I see? Hi, Justin."
Hi, Rocket.
I love you, Balam.
Did you
get on my fucking nerves?
Oh, you did tell him about the horror movie we watched.
Which one?
Case2, his girlfriend.
Oh
no.
The message.
I love Balam. He's still around the LA area or San Francisco. Whatever the fuck.
He's in California.
San Diego.
He's still in California. But I can't think of him without thinking of you guys. Jeff and Jesse. Jeff, Jesse, Balam is just like, those are the three people that I think of. When I think of my time in Los Angeles.
Honestly, we talk about that time with me and the day when Rosetta came to visit, and we all got to hang out. It was like a huge honestly, it was like we're looking at this. We're all. I mean, Rosetta obviously came from a long way to do it, but at that time, it was all of us just lived nearby. And I'm like, God,
and Anna made it up. It was awesome.
If not for Corona, that would have been a lot of this years. Like the three of us hanging out. Anna coming up from the OC, Balam coming up from San Diego.
How far was he
all
from
of us hanging out. He's about 3 hours.
No, Justin.
Oh, Justin was like 15 minutes. Justin was in Hollywood. Yeah, he was over the hill. He was like.
I told you. I told you.
I knew
times that I lived.
Well, no, but at that point, Jeff didn't have the geographical context.
Yeah, I didn't know what. I mean, I know where Hollywood is in terms of I can find it on a map, but I meant in relation to where I live. I had no clue where you were. You can tell me this is my address, this is my neighborhood. That means
where
nothing.
We dropped off Bridget and Brendan at their hotel around that neighborhood. Cool. Yeah, around that area. So now that gives you
the Hollywood Hotel.
No. We had two friends visiting us who were staying in Hollywood, and so just for because I think it was the first time you and I have driven on that route like that. Well, I guess we would have gone down there
August.
for August. We went in Hollywood for.
Because that's where the
the bar.
I guess.
Yeah, so that way, but that general way of the over the hill in the Hollywood area. And whatnot.
We've never gone. Say her hotel's here, and we've never driven down the street that way, and we've never gone up past this up. We've just gone off the overpass there and then gone right back on. But last year when I was out here and we were counting down the days and dreading it, there was a time where we drove through that area just to show it off.
Oh yeah.
We were just talking. We were just trying to kill time together. I live here now, so it's good.
So damn. Never mind.
Ooh. More drinking.
Yes.
Greg Kirby says, I am working my own YouTube channel. Woo, that'll be tight. If you ever need
good.
Any advice or pointers, we're all here to help you. And we'll have you launched it? Like, do you have any content yet and stuff, Greg Kirby? Obviously, share it around when you do. We'll share it. We'll take a look. Happy to give you feedback if you're looking for it.
I had a concept for a new YouTube channel I'm thinking of doing.
Do it. Don't tell us on air. Don't tell us on air.
Well, no, I wanted to see what you guys think of it. That's the thing.
Well, no, we'll talk. I was just saying, tell us when we're in the green room afterwards. I just don't want the audience and anyone to hear. Like, I've noticed a lot of people
we're protective of our good ideas.
I've seen a couple people steal some ideas from other people, and I don't want the same shit to happen to you.
So if you're legitimately thinking of doing this, just we'll chat.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll do this. But I just don't. There's somebody out there that could hear it and go, "Oh, hey."
Yeah, there's a Fandom Menace sketch I have for you two that I wanted to talk about definitely off air, because here's the thing. I'm working on writing it, but I wouldn't be in it because it would be Fandom Menace. I'm not Fandom Menace, so. But it's the idea. I want to see what you guys think about.
I'm very interested to hear that. Now I'm curious. Now I'm like, let's end the stream so we can all have our, behind the scenes chit chat. But I also don't want. But I'm also not.
I've had a beer and a partial.
Beer and gin. We had it a little bit before, but honestly, not much. Like, I'm not really.
Wait, just sporting a partial, Jesse. What are you doing?
So here's the thing, though. It's Thursday. We came to party.
We did, and I'm off work
tomorrow morning. I don't want to watch The Mandalorian sober after this episode.
I'm off work tomorrow morning. Usually Thirsty Thursday's like, oh fuck, we finished this, and I'm like, hydrate, get to bed, like get some food in me because I gotta get up and go teach a little.
Baby, we got all night.
10-year-old had a fence. I have nowhere to be and nothing to do. Except for and no, I don't even have sports ball to watch this weekend because the Eagles are on bye. I have nowhere to go and nothing to do except my wonderful man right here.
Oh, that reminds me. Why is it every year my team ties with somebody, and this year it was your fucking team? The Bengals and Philadelphia tied. I gave you guys the win. Why didn't you just beat us? It's embarrassing to die.
You know why?
God damn it.
Because as embarrassing and horrific as it was for me at that time, it means that we now have that extra half a game lead on the rest of the NFC least, and that makes me
I just like that one in their record for this season came from the Bengals.
It's
a good one, but it's a one, and it's notable.
And it's only the thing is it's highly unlikely the Eagles will the Eagles will tie again.
It's the only time where
we lose you there for a bit, Justin.
Let us have it.
What?
Did we lose you for a second?
I couldn't hear anything for a second.
Oh,
so
weird.
Why?
All right, we got a big super chat from our friend Dean Approved.
Yeah, big old gluggity glug from us.
My compliments and ideas were Dean Approved.
Are you serious?
Oh, Chuck Norris! That's a huge compliment. That compliment was Dean Approved.
That's the rest of my drink.
I have now switched over to Santan Brewery's Hop Shock IPA. If you've never had it, it's pretty damn good.
It's one thing I do enjoy about beer culture. Like, everyone will tell you what they're drinking so you can check it out. Like, there's so many different beers. I'm like, I'll have a Coke. Everyone does Coke.
Speaking of, I didn't show this off on Saturday.
I
got another pack of what I was drinking on Saturday. I had like good. It was so fucking good.
Let's be honest, I drank your last one.
It was supposed to be mine. But I love this because Stone does a lot of pair ups. So they're out here. Stone in Modern Times did Wizards and Gargoyles. It's coffee IPA.
Nice.
Yeah, and so Stone and Modern Times.
This video includes a paid advertisement.
Modern Times. Modern Times does coffee brewing. And so that Stone picked them to do a coffee. And so these are usually limited. When Stone does their fancy little special things, they're usually
these
limited.
Advertisements are Dean approved.
Mm-hmm.
Now let me go get another. I'm gonna take a sip of yours if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, just right now. Let's get through.
I need to get another drink too.
Free beer.
After that, Dean approved.
Dean approved. The Council of Sean. Oh, you would not. He says I'd feel out of place here. Well, not true at all, Council of Sean. So
not unless you like Back to the Future 3 the most.
So Council of Sean.
Wait, hold on. 2 or 3. Don't tell me yet. I'm gonna go back with another drink. We'll discuss that.
Deal. Hey, I was
okay. So, Council Sean, I'm gonna drink 3 super chat. Council Sean, everyone else is
I did,
including the also other Sean. Aspirated foam. Aspirated foam.
I love you so much.
No, I was gonna say if you guys actually ever end up out this way, I know you said you've been to Chandler. Jesse.
Too many times.
I've been to Arizona myself.
Too many times.
Santan Brewing is literally 5 minutes from my house. So
awesome.
that's what I'm drinking here.
Nice.
So very close, very easy to get to, and they have good beer. And of course, that depends on the coof. I don't know. I don't know what all the rules are in California. If you guys can leave the state, or if you can't leave the state, or what the rules are.
I'm going home for Christmas.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure we're tight to leave. I don't know what if we're still in that place where they're like, if you go somewhere, you should probably quarantine for 2 weeks when you get there. If you're flying,
when
or trying,
did America
like,
become a Jewish mother?
Because if America was a Jewish mother, there would be no coronavirus. Okay, because she make sure you wouldn't go out when you had a cold, and when you got to sniff them, she'd be right there.
There'd also be no sports. There'd be no creativity. Everyone would be a doctor or a lawyer.
For little boys to go play sports, there'd just be a lot of pads and a lot of rules and a lot of safety.
And there wouldn't be any good athletes.
That's fine. You don't need good athletes. Athletes don't cure cancer. Doctors do, okay? All right?
Doctors don't win the Super Bowl. Tom Brady does.
Honey, you tear your ACL, your career is over, okay? You fix an ACL, bam, you're a millionaire, all right?
If you're in the NFL, you're a multimillionaire.
But you're not going to make it to the NFL, Bubala, okay? You're just, look, sweetheart, look.
I'm 32. I'm not trying to make it in the NFL.
I have to bring something up because of this. Here's the thing, and I'm dead serious about this. In the shooting community, it's a thing, especially at indoor ranges, because, of course, at an indoor range, the sound reverberates, which is part of the reason why I like going to outdoor ranges. But at an indoor range, it reverberates. And the thing is, if you go at the right time during the week, there's all these little old guys, and they're all Jewish, with their little Browning Buck Mark 22 pistols. And, of course, if I'm there, I've got my 44 or something bigger. What are you shooting over there? You don't need all that. Get yourself a Browning 22. The Buck Mark is well more worth your time.
It's so much. You're gonna value. You're gonna save. What are you gonna use? Look, you're shooting 44. What are you using those 22 extra points for? What are you using them for?
It's a waste of gunpowder. The ammo's expensive.
The target's made of paper.
Exactly.
And
what are you doing to your wrists? You're not going to be able to use them in the afternoon.
Sean, you're going to get arthritis. You're not going to be able to play the guitar. You're gonna break a finger. You're not gonna be able to play anything. What you gonna do?
And the thing is, I wish I was kidding, but this is real. This happens.
That's what makes it great.
I know. There are some. I'll put it this way: there are some times when stereotypes do hold true. If you go onto YouTube, look up. I'm not kidding. There's 3 videos of this called "Shit Italian Moms Say," and I can tell you from the first thing, my brother showed it to me, and as soon as I looked at it, I went, "That's Mom." I'm not kidding.
You're preaching to the choir, all right? When I watch Independence Day, I think, oh my God, those 2 little Jewish men, Jeff Goldblum and his father, they just have such a great little
Judd
relationship there. Great little relationship, Jeff and Judd there. It's like the real father and son, like you can feel it, What
are you doing? Listen to my David. Nobody listens to my David.
He nags him just like, my Abraham nagged their little Joseph, just like, oh my God, the 2 of them. It was like he was 13 years old. He was a 33-year-old grown man. I'm like,
what are you doing with these crazy names today? What is wrong with Mordecai?
You're in your 60s, calm down. You'll give yourself an aneurysm. Abe, slow down. He's a boy, okay? He's all fired up. I know he's 33, but he's just a boy, Abe. Just a boy, all right? Just calm down. It's fine. It's fine.
You are a different person right now, and I love it, and I'm afraid of it at the same time.
No, but if you watch Shit Italian Moms Say...
What I'm trying to say is these stereotypes exist for a reason, And when
right.
you're like you, or you're like me, right? When you're cute little Sean over there, wholesome little Italian Sean and all that, with Italian family, his Italian mama and all that, and he sees these things, and it reminds him of his mama. He doesn't sit there and think, oh no, this Italian stereotype. People stereotyping my people appropriating my culture, eating pasta. Oh, only Italians can eat pasta. No one else can eat pasta. Well, that's just crazy. I would never say, oh, you're a shiksa, you can't have a bagel and a shmear. I mean, you need a bagel and a shmear. Look at that figure. Oh my God, no curves. You need curves. You're gonna bear children. Little Joseph's gonna put a bagel in your belly. You need a bagel. You need a schmear. You need extra schmear.
You don't need to shoot a 44 Magnum to prove you got chutzpah, okay? Come on.
Look, a 44 Magnum's not gonna put a baby in her belly. Or it's not gonna make little grandkids. Mommy, okay? You gotta make little.
You gotta stop. I'm getting a headache.
No, the first thing on Shit Italian Moms say, I kid you not, it shows her son going into the fridge. He pulls something out, and it's a male comedian, but he's playing his mom. So he comes up and he goes, "Don't touch that. That's for Thursday." My mom did that to me all the time growing up. I'm not kidding you. I'd be in the kitchen. I'd be like, "Oh, this looks good." Hey, no, don't touch that. That's for Wednesday next week. Okay, we're having meatballs. You don't touch that.
So you know the whole Jewish thing too, like the Jewish mother, like, oh, are you hungry? How about a sandwich? Would you like some fruit? Can I make you dinner? Seriously, like friends come over for, when I'm a kid and whatnot, and mom's like snack already before they freaking get there. Yeah. She got a fruit cut up, cheese crackers, whole 9 yards. We're hanging out.
Your mom's a good lady.
Oh, you guys are gonna go up to your room? Okay, sweet. I'll call you down for dinner. Great. Dinner comes. We've got bread and garlic and olive oil to dip it in, and a whole dinner and all that shit. Oh my God. I'm so full. I couldn't eat anymore. My friends are thrilled. We go over to the next room to start watching movies for the night and whatnot. Fucking 5 minutes later, she's in there with an individual massive bowl of popcorn for every single friend. And then not 10 minutes after that, she's back with everyone's individual ice cream sundaes with candy bars cut up on it.
That's awesome.
And fucking nuts. I'm not even kidding. This is literally my mom.
I want to visit your parents.
that seems like a great mom.
To impress you?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, my mom does. That's literally dinner. That
my dad was very similar. My dad was very similar. When us kids were growing up, he would always come back down the stairs and just give us me and my kid brother when we were older, unsolicited buckets of popcorn.
Oh, nice!
That's awesome.
Like a huge bucket of popcorn that was very, very much melted with butter and everything. He was just like,
"Okay,
here it is. Like, here's the bucket of popcorn." I'm like, I didn't ask for that. And he's like, "Yeah, I know, but you really wanted it, didn't you?" Which would sound really weird, except for the fact that he would do this in his underwear for several years, and he actually really did just do that because we really just wanted popcorn. Because we were just playing video games or anything or something, and he would just do that out of nowhere, no matter whether he was drunk out of his mind or he was straight sober and he was gonna go to work the next day. He would always want to do that. I have no idea. Though. Yeah, I have no idea why I shared that, but it seemed like everybody was cool sharing. Story. I feel like everybody was sharing their personal stories.
I'm going to share one too. I was going to say, I didn't have. Look, your mom. I've had your mom's food. You had my mom's food. They both know how to cook and stuff. It sucked because my mom.
I've had your mom's food. It's
you
good.
have. You had that. That was a good breakfast, wasn't it?
Spread.
By the way, did you say hello to your mom for me?
I did.
That's true. I was there.
Yeah,
it happened. And she was really touched because we told her we were like, Justin always asks about you. He always says to say hello, and he always says how lovely you were and all that stuff. And she's like, oh, that's so sweet. Oh my God, I'm sorry you had to, it was like the circumstance, all the crazy stuff that was going on, and what have you. And no, she really loves. She's so touched that you remember her though.
Yeah, she really likes me, man.
She does. She thinks you're a sweetheart.
All I was gonna say though is I was lucky. Like my mom's a great cook. I got to experience it, but a lot of times my mom would work on weekends when I'd have friends over because. She was always cool. She's like, if anybody over, do what you want, just whatever. She trusted me, and I never got in trouble or did anything dumb. Yeah, except once I did light Buzz Lightyear on fire in the side yard. But that's a story for another day. Anyway, my mom was cool about stuff because even though she wasn't going to be home, she's like, your friend. Like I had a friend, Brandon. He was my best friend at the time. She would just be like, here, I went to the store for you. You go downstairs. There's waffle crisp cereal, 12 2 liters, frozen food, money for pizza, this, that, and the other. Like, my friend would get bummed out when his mom wouldn't let him stay over because I had a PlayStation and a Nintendo 64, and he would bring some games over, or we could rent games because my mom, it was cool. My mom was always like, oh, because she was a single parent and had to do whatever, she always did extra shit to make me feel special. So when I had friends over, she did extra shit for them too. So everybody wanted, like the friends that I had always wanted to come over. And so, like, even though she wasn't there and got the treatment, it was like you go downstairs and there's a little treasure trove of what, like Pepsi Blue or Sour Skills, just 90s and early 2000s food and things you think of. My mom just went and spent like $100 on the weekend.
That's awesome.
I gotta work, but every time.
So who wants to go over to Jeff's mom's house?
Oh, trust me, you do.
Yeah.
I'll ever come to you. I'll ever come to you.
That's even better. That's even better because she'll do it all in your own kitchen.
And she'll
I can make the 45-minute trip and just be like, hey.
That's true. You should show up and you should be like, hey, Barbara, I hear you need a son. I heard yours is coming.
I need a son.
Just gonna step in and do a little,
I would be so hurt if she said okay.
No.
But Justin, around Christmas time, we were talking about, because we're coming back to town, how we're going to take an extra day just
we're going to plan an extra day on our trip. It's going to be our Justin day.
So we'll give you a heads up so you can try to request the day off. But we'll do...
Yeah, we'll figure out...
We'll do fun
But it's
stuff.
just going to be...
So, is it before Christmas or after? After Christmas is better.
We got to get...
That's just tough for us because we have a... we could. If we wanted to make like till the 26th or something like that, like one of those...
We could even do one more if you wanted to budget it out because we're coming back from Michigan.
Actually, that's true. We do have to come back from Michigan. So, yeah, we'll talk to you. We'll talk, Justin. But basically, we're gonna have a lot of options. So we're definitely, though, we already talked about that when we figure out what days are actually going to we are putting a Justin day in our Cincinnati time.
So I want to share an interesting thing about Italian culture with food, because food is very important to Italians, as I'm sure you can guess. And for us, hospitality includes when someone comes over, you feed them.
Yep.
That's very important. It's also very important to, if you know somebody's tastes, you do this. Now, I am a certified carnivore, but when I know somebody's coming over who's a vegetarian, I will go find the freshest veggie platter and hummus I can, because to me, that's very important. So I have a little interesting story. My father-in-law at one point, and early on when my wife and I were married, Ashley's dad had told me when I was bringing up, I had gotten a new cocktail mixer set. And he said, in college, I always drank these things called a tidal wave. And so they were planning to come over. So I literally went out of my way to hunt down the recipe for a tidal wave, and I got all the fixins, and I got all this stuff, and I got all ready, and I was like, this is the Italian in me. I'm gonna show him that I can make him one. He's gonna enjoy it. It's gonna be a good time. He came over, and he refused my offer. And then when I finally got him to try one, he took this tiny little sip. And you can ask Ashley, the look on my face when they left, I was insulted.
Yep.
And I'm just going to say, maybe this is just a cultural thing, but it's like I went out of my way to make sure that I could provide you sustenance or some hospitality, and you refused it.
That is super Italian.
I was like,
yeah,
not cool. Not cool.
That's super, because I was to say, I'm tracking your site. I'm like, I'm so on board with this story. And I'm like, and then we hit the moment in the story where the Jewish reaction and the Italian reaction diverge. Because you get to the moment where the friend, you've gone out of the way, you've done all these things, and you've gotten to the moment where the friend doesn't appreciate the fact that you've gone out of this way to do this. And the Italian goes, what the fuck? I've done my part. I've observed all the proper protocol for inviting a guest into my home. I have bent over fucking backwards to give you this experience. And that's what I get. That's what I fucking get. That's the Italian. The Jew goes, I slaved all day. I cooked all day. I did all these things for these people, and it wasn't good enough. What? I'm not good enough for them? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with my cooking? What's wrong? But it becomes this very internalized guilt thing of like, what did I do wrong? Oh my God, the Joneses, they're not good. Nothing's ever good. And then forever, for the rest of your fucking life, the Jones, I better not make those drinks for them. I better not make that tidal wave for the Joneses when the Joneses come up, because the Joneses don't like to drink too much. Oh my God, tidal title wipes. I'm going to sit in your living room and I'm going to spend 3 hours talking your fucking ear off over how much I love this title wipe. Love it, love it, love it. And then you come to my house and I make it for you and you reject my offer. Well, that's fine. I guess next time I'll have to make a title wipe with something special, with some more expensive liqueur in it. I guess that's the Jewish thing. The Jewish thing is to always assume that whatever we provided them wasn't expensive enough. It wasn't flourishing.
Right.
You want gold flakes on it. I'm sorry that my humble little offering.
Well, and here's the irony of it is, like I said, Ashley's half Jewish and her dad is the Jewish person.
Ah.
So it was the Jew who turned down my hospitality.
Well,
that wasn't lost on me.
Because the Jewish person came to your house and went, "Oh my God, it was so nice of you to go out of your way to try to do this for me. I don't want to trouble you to actually make this drink. No, sweetheart, sit down. I don't care." And that's just something that infuriates me. That my mom was just funny. My mom wasn't even.
Whoa, Han. That jumped from the TV to the table.
He just doesn't usually do that.
He's never done that.
He's not a graceful creature. Are you feeling okay? You must be hungry, buddy.
He looks crazy right now.
What are you looking for? Oh, Jane Supreme.
I would say, though, Sean, coming to your house, if we were friends growing up, I would have loved that. That was always like, oh, maybe I'll marry some girl that's Italian.
There's some booty. Sorry, there's just all of a sudden there's butt. Just right in the camera.
That's every day of my life, and I couldn't be happier.
One of our cats is having...
Well, naturally, it's Jesse's butt in your face. That's good for you.
I will not apologize. Han is having a midlife crisis. I was just trying to make sure he found another perch since the little young bull supplanted him. I want him to find a perch where he can comfortably...
I could actually help Han if I took his cat bed there.
Oh, interesting story I have for you guys. I have a friend who had a vegetarian friend who visited Europe and Eastern Asia. So not Western Asia, Eastern Asia. So, more like Romania, those areas. Okay, and much like us Italians, they offer you food. This is important. And if you don't eat it, of course, it's an insult. So this is the place that if you walk in and they say, "We've got goat testicle soup," you fucking eat it. Even if you gag, you eat it and you thank them because it's the important thing is they're actually breaking out what's nice for you. And this guy had vegetarian friends who went into Europe and they're like, "Oh, we're not eating that. We're vegetarian." And they're like, "This isn't good enough for you."
Mm.
And all of a sudden they had to eat some meat on the trip because they realized they were offending every fucking host that they met.
That's what I really like though about so my mom's side of the family she wasn't raised Jewish. She actually converted. My dad's side of the family is Jewish. My mom still is this quintessential Jewish mother in every way. Partially my Polish family. Polish sensibilities are very, very similar. A lot of that same culture that led to the Ashkenazi Jewish tradition is the same culture, that Polish families were raised with. So it's the very, very same traditions. The thing I don't like about that is the internalized that method of version of hospitality. I like the Italian expulsiveness. The Jewish version, to me, I think internalizes way too much, which is where you get this Jewish neuroses from and all that.
There was a preconceived notion of over apologeticness.
Exactly, but that all comes from our cultural tendency to want to internalize these things. So I like. But the thing
it's like we want to understand why people are upset, but we blame it on ourselves in a way.
Yeah,
is that? I mean, I'm not Jewish, so
it's so hard because I was trying to explain also the difference between Jewish guilt and Catholic guilt too. Like, Jewish guilt is really self-deprecating, but it also has this. It also has a passive aggressiveness to it. That's not. Great.
Catholics are like, "I'm just going to hell."
Catholics all turn it on themselves. Jews, and that's also that internalization means they let this off. I was
not me.
Jeff.
I'm Catholic.
Well, not you, but just the
Jewish part. Okay.
I'm saying the stereotypes of Catholic guilt versus Jewish.
Yeah, I mean, I'm technically a Catholic too, but only I'm a rhino in that way.
The thing with
Vatican II Catholics are very, very different, and I have a lot of respect for Vatican II Catholics. I was raised by a family that was raised by Vatican I Catholics. So that was the era of, "Oh, you even thought about sinning? You're going to hell." But Vatican II Catholics are much different, and I have a great appreciation for Vatican II Catholics.
Yeah. Once I heard that the Bible was being taken literally, I was like, well, bye.
So
no thanks. you can't take everything literally. You have to take things, in a kind of like an Aesop fairy tale kind of thing.
They're parables.
Yeah. You have to take it like a story. You have to.
I tend to agree.
Interpret all of this, as a story. That whatever the story is, imagine, if Jack and the Beanstalk, it's God's will that Jack climbs the beanstalk, or if just what?
I want to drink more. Can I read these super chats?
If you can catch up to me, I guess.
That's why I want to drink more, because I'm like getting into your stories, and I'm like, Justin is clearly ahead of me in so many. I'm jealous of your tolerance right now. Have you just not been drinking enough out there? Is your tolerance going down? Because I'm jealous right now, because I want to be feeling it as much as you're feeling it, which is why I have to drink more.
In other words, Justin, you're drunk. We need to read super chat.
Yes.
I didn't say that. The Council of Shaw says I'd be able to place here alone. The funny thing is, so he says,
all right.
No, Justin, where are you going?
No, don't go away, man. I was enjoying the story.
No, Justin, come back.
I actually very much, if I may, I very much agree with Justin's perception. I am a non-denominational Christian, and I do think a lot of the Bible is meant to be taken as moral fiber and as parables. And I think sometimes when people take it very literally, I'm like, I think you're missing the point of the story.
Yeah, sure. It's like Aesop's fables.
I live not too far from the creation exhibit. You remember that, Jeff? There's a creation. I don't know, a creationist exhibit.
Here's the thing. I went to a Catholic school for 12 years. 13, kindergarten.
How are your knuckles?
Hold on. Was taught by one nun. We were taught evolution, and they really didn't preach religion too much in the late 90s and early 2000s. So while I was raised Catholic and they have all the knowledge and all the shit, they basically treated religion because look at the neighborhood I lived in. If you didn't go to private school and you went to public school, you went to the worst public schools, because while we weren't in the worst neighborhood, the way the thing was broken up, you got bussed off to shitty schools. So St. William.
Oh my God! Wait, hold on. Did you go to Walnut Hills or anything?
No, I went to private school, dude. Like Walnut Hills is the best public school besides, like, I guess Summit Country Day is a private school that doesn't non-religious.
Because you have to understand that this is where my dad and my uncles like all grew up in. So this is the kind of thing that I'm kind of very curious about. Because you grew up in the generation right below them.
How did I grow up the generation right below them? You and I are only 7 years apart in age, or 8 years apart in age.
Well,
they're never papes.
Yeah, I'm the old guy in the group.
I was about to say, you're born in 95.
I want to read a super chat. I don't give a shit about school districts in Ohio or when you bitches were born. The Council I feel how to place your law. I'm drinking for that super chat and explaining to you the context. I didn't drink for it because I'm trying to explain to you the fucking context. I know. How do you?
I'm gonna grab another beer. I'll be right back.
He's leaving.
I feel like I'm Thanos right now because it's coming out orange or purple or whatever.
Is a really awesome dude.
It's orange here.
Council Sean has been one of my best Patreon supporters for a long time now. Okay, cool. I'm gonna revert to 5 years old. I will just talk louder if people try to interrupt me. I have been trying to address the super chat for half an hour now, and I will fucking succeed. God damn it. I just wanted to honor Sean for a second because he has been one of my biggest Patreon supporters since I started Patreon, and he has been super wonderful and super awesome. And I'm putting it out to my top tier on Patreon. I'm going to start inviting them to Thirsty Thursday. Right now, that tier consists of Counselor Sean and my mom. My mom is unlikely to join us for Thirsty Thursday for a variety of reasons, not the least of which that Thirsty Thursday starts at 11 p.m. for her, 11:30 p.m. for her.
How about coffee time with Mrs. Milestone? Just you, me, and her.
Yeah,
I don't, not the internet, not those guys. We love them. But I just like
Monday morning.
Basically, I'm trying to make an excuse for when we go to your house. Your mom will just make a really thick breakfast spread.
Okay.
Every day.
Just tell her to do that, and she will.
Even when we're like, tied the knot and everything, I will never be able to say to her, "Hey, mom, make me a bunch of food," because it's not my mom. I'll never feel comfortable.
Tell me that that's what you want. We'll make it happen.
Fine. I will always do that. And the same with my mom.
I know. I've never.
I was like, Mom, meatloaf, we want it.
I spent an entire week trying to fight her to not do our laundry, so I failed.
Yeah. And you know what? We're better for it.
But anyway, so Sean feels like he thinks he feels out of place here. Opposite. Actually, one of the reasons why I thought of doing that is I thought all the guys that we used to have such a great time doing our movie watches on Patreon all would fit in really well with people like Justin and Sean Firefart that we have on Thirsty Thursday. And Council Sean, I think you would get along great with these guys who have,
especially Sean.
Because you would be. I was even thinking. I was like, we could actually have a council of Sean and have all the Seans together.
Could you get Sean Kingston on?
I probably not.
He's a has-been celebrity anyway.
Can there be 300 Seans though?
We will get all of the Seans. I do know at least one. Oh, puppy!
Dude, when you turn
okay. The Seans win. Okay.
This is Pecan. I was talking to Sweet Pea about Pecan. She's my bright sky my bright star on a cloudy day.
Aww,
she's very sweet.
She's a sweetheart.
Very regal.
Say hi to people. She's like, I just want to get put down.
He's like, no, this is not for me. That's like all my cat. None of them want to be celebrities. None of them like the camera. They all want to ham it up off camera and eat up your attention there. None of them
to be fair, the littles will pose for photos.
For photos, yes, but when it comes to like being live online, they couldn't.
They just know.
They do. It's like Lando knows. See, these Lando hams it up for photos so much. The second you put him in front of this camera, he's like, no, I refuse.
I guess because he doesn't like the light.
Probably doesn't like the light. Also, Lando really doesn't like to be told what to do because he's.
I love to say Lando no, and he stops every time, and then I push him away from the plastic.
And have you ever caught him? Have you ever Lando known him when he's in mid-step in something and he just freezes like a deer in headlight? Or if you just look at him when he thinks he's being sneaky, he'll just freeze like mid-step, like he thinks he thinks he's Drax or something.
Act natural, Lando.
The funny thing is, we've actually seen him make the Drax thing work, where it's like if I just, though it's his thing is not necessarily moving slowly, but his is like I'm going to creep along in a way that like does not draw your attention, and then before you realize it, I've run off with the shrimp.
I love when Han tries to jump on stuff, and if you put your hand up, he stops and he gets scared. Like, so if he's trying to jump on the couch, you like this, he goes like, ugh, and you keep doing it to him. He freaks out some more, and then he gets even more nervous when he goes to jump, and he just looks at me like, ugh. It's really fun.
That's the best.
Yeah. If you have you guys seen this? If you haven't, I can send you guys a link to this later. There's a video where it says "act natural" and it shows two raccoons walking by this guy's window, and he just like knocks on the glass. You're like, and then all of a sudden, like one of them just goes like, and just freezes, and then he turns over to the other one, and the other one is literally on its hind legs going like a person.
Oh my God,
it's just so weird. It's like, what is he doing?
I have not seen that, but now I need to. So please send.
Like this.
Yeah, he's just got his like arms out. He's standing on his hind legs. He's like,
well, the only two people on this dais who can say that, we've been doing that is, skydiving.
Oh, that.
Yeah, I've never done that.
That was. Oh, yeah.
I thought you were trying to help the angels win the pennant.
I thought you were helping.
I was getting ready to stand up and start.
Ready to be like,
wait, you two have skydived?
Yeah, Justin and I went skydiving.
We were gonna do it together, but she decided to,
To be fair, we all went together. We didn't know until we got there that it was only two of us in a plane at once, and she had asked me to skydive with her shortly prior to you asking me to skydive.
And also, she was, one of those people that, who was very hesitant.
She was nervous
to do it.
But she was nervous, so she definitely needed some comfort.
Yeah, and
you had to push her out.
And then
no, don't worry, you don't have to jump.
Exactly.
I'm also the only person who has uploaded their video. I want to see your video uploaded because I've seen it. I've seen it, and I think everybody would be like, that's so great.
There was a few years ago a great skydiving video. It was on a German TV show where it was a bunch of people who went skinny skydiving. And it came to one guy, and it showed like from behind, and his dick was just going.
I was wondering what a pair of big boobs would look like.
I just don't see a point to that because it's like there's nothing. I don't feel like there's any value you get from skydiving that's enhanced by being naked.
Well, I mean, it'd be weird the whole time.
It wouldn't be up your ass. It'll be up your for.
I don't have one, so.
Jeez, you'd be creeping.
I got told by a buddy of mine as a guy. He said, when you go skydiving, Justin. He said, wear briefs because that parachute, if you're wearing boxers, might end up like it did to me, where it grabbed your balls. And for the rest of the next week, you were pretty much not able to really walk or talk in a normal voice.
Ooh. Fortunately, I don't think Justin had that problem. Because he definitely talked. That was actually one of my favorite parts of that day. I loved that whole day, but one of my favorite parts of it was when you and I just went down and got lunch afterwards, and the few drinks we had. We had a really great, it was one of those really memorable heart to hearts. I don't know, it was a fun day. It was a really fun day. I had a good time.
It really was. And if you really want to know what's like to in a post COVID-19 world, to have an Ohioan, have a Michigander be attached to you, and be in charge. Essentially,
I forgot about that. This was a whole thing.
Yeah. No, this is very important. Very important. This guy is just okay, he's making raining blood jokes. It's.
Oh my God, Justin!
I have to show you the.
Justin, Lindsay is totally watching. Because she just sent me these faces. Well, let me see. But she sent me these faces, and she says, "Justin's still complaining about the skydiving." I just love that Lindsay.
She really said that.
She's listening.
Lindsay did.
She was like, Justin's still bitching about the skydiving. I love it.
She's watching right now?
Yeah, Lindsay watches all the time. I forget that I actually have real friends in real life who like to watch my stuff. We've talked about this too.
You're lucky. My friends don't support.
No.
Honestly, some of the friends I have who do, they're like, yeah, because you're hard to get a hold of and stuff sometimes. I just watch it and then I feel like I'm still. Then I don't worry about the fact that we don't talk for weeks at a time because I still feel like I saw you. My mom.
When my mom texted me and said
I didn't even know that Lindsay watched me ever.
Things I can't say. J-Head04, let's drink.
Yeah, let's get back because I need to feel
Coffee something. IPA says, I may have to check that out. 100% Java Junkie. Hazy Coffee IPA, Wizards and Gargoyles. It's a collaboration from Stone, Modern Times. It's being distributed by Stone.
Hey, J-Hand04, if you're a Java Junkie, you could send us recommendations for regular coffee. Or if you got something super cool, I'm not trying to fish for this, but we do have a P.O. box, and I have a French press. I'm a coffee guy myself, so recommendations or whatever. And same to you. I will.
Because we're definitely coffee drinkers, but not aficionados or snobs or anything
ready
like that.
To go there though.
But we're definitely open to that. Those things.
Speaking of coffee drinkers, how is your friend Hamas? Hadass. I'm sorry. How is Hadass?
Hamas would be the terrorist organization that runs Palestine.
And hummus is that terrible food I hate.
Hadass.
How is Hadass?
Is though funny because it almost kind of works in a weird way. Hamas reminded you of Hadass because her parents are from Israel. Anyway, I digress.
I've had a lot to drink. That's my excuse. I drank 6 ounces of vodka before I moved on to beer.
No, thank you for asking. Hadass has been fully recovered, so she's still not positive if she had it or not. By the time she was able to get a COVID test, it came up negative. So she still is not positive if she had it or not. Fortunately, though, if she did, it doesn't seem like she has any of the long-term symptoms.
That's good.
She's been back to normal, pretty much health-wise. She has a stressful job right now because she, in addition to her acting pursuits, she works at a restaurant, which obviously, if you've been following, especially in LA, that has been pretty stringent about the masks and stuff from day one. It's been a really stressful place for people to work because there are a lot of people who want to come in and take your restaurant's mask wearing policy out on you. She dealt with it crazy the other day. They had stuff like back in May. She was working down there and the riots were like across the street. So it's been a stressful fucking year for her. Fortunately, though, she found this incredible dude that she's been seeing for several.
You guys
months.
smoking a joint?
It's a like a candy cigarette.
No.
It is a candy cigarette,
Dude,
guys.
Well, if you're smoking a joint, it's legal in California.
Dude, but Sean, check this out. We learned the other day. Guess what the ingredients of these things are? There's something here you'd never guess is in it.
I mean, if you read my Twitter, you would, but Sean's not on Twitter.
Well, he won't.
Gluten?
Well, no. Would you like me to read you the ingredients?
Yeah.
Dextrose, cornstarch, corn syrup, tapioca, beef gelatin, and artificial flavor. I read that to Jesse today. I was like, "There's no fucking sugar in these,"
Which is like,
but there's beef.
right? Well, I mean, technically there is a ton of sugar because dextrose is sugar.
It seems like the
because there's two different artificial sugars in here.
it reminds me of Elf. The four main food.
Alf, like alien life form. I love
No,
that.
Elf, like the movie, with Will Ferrell.
Elf.
Yeah.
Just like
Good movie.
candy cane, candy corn, and syrup.
Here's my question about
That's what it sounds like.
candy corn. Should not be a food group, by the way. It's not
Ridiculous.
food.
I have the 4 college food groups. I got to share these. There are chocolate, greases and fats, caffeine, and alcohol.
Amen.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Glad
100%.
caffeine's in there. So I need my coffee.
This is blowing my mind about these things. Though. This has cornstarch and tapioca, and it already has 2 binding agents in it. What the fuck does it need beef gelatin for? Who was like, we made a candy. It's literally a couple artificial sugars and a couple of binding agents. Let's throw some dead cow in it.
Why do candy cigarettes have beef gelatin in them?
Because it'd be fun to just throw some cow glue into your fucking candy. Like,
Because fuck you, that's why.
exactly. Like I've heard of gelatin and Swedish fish and shit like that. This is not a gelatinous candy. Usually,
I gotta ask.
In gelatinous candies, candy cigarettes has the
Yeah.
Dude, Brian just totally got smoked in Fast and the Furious.
This has the consistency of chalk. What does it need gelatin for? Anyway, I'm done. That case too fan.
Whoa, there's a lot of chocolate and coffee products that contain pork byproducts.
Well, that
Why is that K-Stu fan sending in Mexican $50?
Because he lives in Mexico.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Now you know. In addition, so we already talked about it until we can say.
And knowing's half the battle.
He lives in San Diego, but he also has a residence, or I think his family lives in Mexico. So he has, I think he's a dual citizen. I don't know. I don't actually know what his citizenship status is.
My buddy Steve, who was in the chat earlier, just quick funny story. Steve is 100% Mexican. His parents actually, they're first generation born in America, so he's second. But the funny thing is, both his parents are pretty dark skinned. His sister is pretty dark skinned. His brother is dark skinned. He is whiter than me.
Shit happens.
And the funny thing is, when I was younger, before I got the gray hair, people thought I was Mexican. Like, I got asked, what part of Mexico does your family come from? And I'd always answer the same way. I'd be like, well, my family's from Calabria. Oh, well, that sounds Italian. It is. But so Steve and I, a funny story is if you see the two of us when we're hanging out privately, the kind of insults that go back and forth, because he'll insult me for being Italian and I'll insult him for being Mexican, you'd think guns were going to be drawn. But, we're good friends. We're just fucking with each other. But exactly, it's like there's no hardship in it. But I actually like to tease him that I know more Spanish than he does. I'm like, come on, dude. I'm darker than you. I know more Spanish. I'm more of a Mexican than you are.
Pretty much. People are going to take you that way anyway. Apparently, my dad looks super Italian, though. my Jewish dad, to the point where when he was in Italy, people repeatedly asked him for directions places, and they treated him at restaurants like he was Italian.
Wow.
He went to the, so they would like, there was one place, it was actually, it was the restaurant at the thing. They kept talking to him in Italian at his hotel at breakfast and stuff. They kept treating him like an actual Italian, like, oh no, you don't have to be this American person line and this and that, and speaking to him in Italian. He's like, I don't speak Italian. He was just there for a business trip, but my sister happened to be studying abroad in the UK at the same time. And we're doing like a brief thing abroad in the UK at this, or she did do a semester, I don't remember. But she met up with my dad in Italy. So the earlier he'd gone to this one restaurant, and it was just him by himself because he's there for a medical convention. I guess he doesn't, I don't know what his friendship sphere is like it though, as if he can't. My dad's the weirdo too. Everyone goes to these radiology conventions to go see the city, go sightsee, skip most of the conferences, whatever. My dad's the guy who goes and is like actually interested in all the conferences. So he pretty much goes to these things, watches all the stuff, goes and has a nice meal by himself and goes home. He's also like, he doesn't care about eating by himself. That's never been a thing for him. He doesn't give a shit. So he's this Italian person himself. And he's like, it's clear to me that all the staff here feel bad for me because they think I'm like alone, like I'm stood up or left lonely or something like that. Especially because then they find out I'm American. I think I'm this American tourist who's like all by myself and they're like feeling bad. So they kept bringing me all these free things. He's like, I said, they kept bringing me desserts and trying to give me alcohols and liqueurs and all these things and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, I don't want it, all this, whatnot. So he brought Jackie back there when they went, and they were excited to see it. They remembered it, like, oh my God, your daughter, and this and that. And they just gave him all this free shit too. So my dad,
that's awesome.
When we go to town,
clearly,
I like get free Italian stuff.
Clearly, no,
Italian food best.
My dad has one of those. You ever meet a dad that has like an every dad vibe? My dad doesn't have even have a traditional dad vibe at all, but he still has an every dad vibe. If you get what I'm saying, of
all the friends I've had, I only have had but if you and I were friends, like just friends, my relationship with your dad would probably be like one of the cooler friend dads I had. Even how little we've interacted, because either I disliked friends' dads or they're just not around, or I don't know their parents. Like,
sure,
But
hey, Justin,
nice guy, but I didn't really.
Your SG's a Gibson, right?
Yeah.
I'm curious, are those the stock pickups or did you swap them out?
No.
You?
Oh, the stock ones. Just curious. I'm a tone junkie when it comes to guitars, and so I'm not kidding when I say that it's very rare that I don't swap pickups on guitars. I actually will say my Gibsons, my Explorer. I have one Explorer that has the stock pickups, the other two don't, or the other Explorer doesn't, and my LP doesn't. But I always love to ask because I always feel like Gibson pickups are kind of hit or miss. Sometimes they're amazing, and sometimes not so much. It also depends on the guitar. But I don't own an SG, so I have no what's the word I'm looking for? I have no point of reference here. So it's good looking.
The only thing that I will say is that it was kind of a lucky purchase because it was one of those guitars that it was a robot, if you will. I know what you mean. Yeah, it was one of those failed ones. But it does have the sound of the beyond the SG standard. So the sound sounds very great, but you have to get past the kind of adjustments that they try to do with the advancements of
those robot tuners were crap.
Yeah.
Did you know that was the reason that Gibson actually got its credit rating downgraded?
It was so awful. It was so awful. But if you just replace all of those tuners with regular SG tuners, which is more affordable than
robot tuners by a long shot.
No. It was more affordable than just purchasing a regular SG standard at the time, and I guess at my age, back in 2008, when I, purchased this for just $800, I really was. I was not only floored by it, but I was like, this is a steal deal. And
yeah, it is.
When I plugged it into any other amp, it just, oh God, especially when it was new, it really just, it got everything that I wanted from an AC/DC amp that I wanted, and I can, if only it had like a Floyd Rose, a whammy bar, and I would have loved for it to. Yeah,
you two need to start a show where you guys talk guitars and guitarists and stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll be quiet. I'm sorry.
No, I'm serious.
Sorry, no, it's my fault. I get so into guitar gear.
Honestly, Justin, when I first started wanting to say something, I wanted to read the super chat, but it changed into listening to you guys back and forth, being like, you guys really need to have a show where you do this. Not
Justin,
this is not me trying to shut you up right now. This is me saying you two have a lot of really similar sensibilities when it comes to music, a lot of same interest and taste in guitars and stuff.
It's very hard to do this in the YouTube community, though.
There's a lot of
in terms of music. Music equals copyright, and
at the end of the day, Justin, who gives a shit what YouTube thinks? Maybe look, if you guys like talking guitars and talking about this stuff.
Yeah, they limited my latest video.
You never know. Maybe there's something more in it. I always say follow the threads. But that case, I also need to read this because this is also for you, Justin. I need you to confirm or deny this because that Case2 fan says Proper is hung like a moose. Looks like Jeff's arm down there. Thick, drunk, and semi-black. He's like a teddy bear with an enormous clock. # on time. And no, because the two of them have actually slept together.
Damn.
Shared a bed once. Confirmed that Case2 fan is a full-fledged American. He is not a dual citizen. He just wants to confirm that. So, guys, don't try to deport him. Full-fledged American.
I wouldn't deport him anyway. I like that Case2 fan. He's a cool guy.
I drink.
Cheers.
I already had mine.
All right.
No, but if I can share just real quick, Justin, if you're a true AC/DC fan, I have insider knowledge for you because I know people in the guitar industry, and I can actually tell you that despite Angus Young having his own signature pickups from Gibson, that's not what he plays.
Yeah,
he plays Seymour Duncan Pearly Gates with degaused A2 magnets.
Yep.
Pause. Okay, three things. One, moving left directions, AK. You guys are fine, we always love to acknowledge these because they're our favorite. I will make a shirt. So one's in the chat, guys, if you will buy a You Guys Are Fine shirt. It's literally, it's going to be, I think it's just going to be the picture of the super chat. It's just that Baltimore guy says You Guys Are Fine.
If the image is too blurry, I can go in and recreate it for in Photoshop.
We'll do it. So it's just gonna be a picture of the original super chat where it says You Guys Are Fine,
I think it should actually be in shitty resolution too.
Oh my god, yes, this should look
ironically
like a crappy screenshot. So one in the chat if you'll buy that. That's the first thing. The second thing is I've been wearing my Jesse Solo and the Kiddo shirt a bunch, which is a great shirt with awesome fan art. But I can't discount my other Jesse Solo shirt, which is done by my second favorite artist of all time, actually, second only to this guy right here.
I won.
Anna, that Star Wars girl, drew me this shirt as my Christmas present a couple years ago, and it is awesome and amazing, and one of my favorite artistic renderings of myself ever. And there are boobs in this shirt. Thank you, Jeff, for pointing that out. In case people didn't know. Anyway, this is my favorite shirt of all time, and it's amazing. And if you want it,
this is Chili. This is my third and final baby. Say hi, Chili.
Hi, Chili. Hello, Chili.
She's got a bit of a frosty face because she's almost 10, but she's also very chill.
I love how you have a long hair, a short hair, and a wire hair.
There are actually 2 long hairs and a wire hair. It's just Pecan isn't as fuzzy as Chili.
Oh, okay. So she's technically a long hair too, but it's just funny because the way they look, it's like you have all 3 represented. All the the 3 main coats represented. We just have a tux, a tux, and a tux, and a tux.
Oh, Sean, also.
A tux, a tux, a tux, and a splish.
So I have this listener named Superfan Adam Shawhan. He have you ever talked to him before?
Yes.
He breeds dachshunds. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, I'm subscribed to his free range wiener dog ranch.
Oh, nice.
On Facebook.
Nice.
So I get to see pictures of his doxies.
Yeah, he'll send me some every once in a while. He's got a kick-ass office. He'll post pictures of it publicly. He's got a life-size Joker statue.
Nice.
He's got a mannequin and a Joker.
Was that a statue or a tattoo? Because it sounded like a statue.
Yes.
So it's like
Me
when
too.
you
That's what I heard.
tattoo a statue?
Yeah, so you even tattooed a statue? It's called a paint job.
Yeah, totally.
Dude, we should write a rap song for Shit Pinky. Tattoo a statue?
You know, it's so funny. It's so funny that superfan Adam Shawhan has introduced me to people like Lethal Lightning.
I love Lethal.
Yeah,
Lethal's
cool.
so fun.
And he even said that he.
All right, 2 people said that they would buy. 2 people put ones included. One of them was Sean for the You Guys Are Fine shirt, and that's enough for me. I'm making it. Also, if you guys want the Jesse Shot First shirt, sorry, Jasmine, to interrupt you, but I just wanted to post this link. If you wanted the Jesse Shot First shirt, it's here. So
I got it. I got that shirt.
It's cool.
Well,
it's also something that I particularly like.
And Justin, I want you to finish. So yes.
Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember first meeting Adam Shawhan?
Yeah,
Shawhan?
Indianapolis Horror Hound 2018.
That's a good question.
Do you?
All right.
Approved.
Go ahead.
Did you want me to tell you more of the story?
Dean approved.
What he said is that he tried to pretend to be a Last Jedi supporter, and
I forgot. Here's the thing about Superfan Adam Shawhan. Since meeting him and like talking to him and shit, like that event is funny, but I know him from so many other things. It's almost just like another.
It's another story. It's
yeah,
like, the first meeting. It's just like, that funny thing.
The thing I love about that dude too is he's super sincere. So it's like when you talk to him, you know he's not bullshitting you. You know he's not, making up anything. He's just, I don't know. He's just enjoyable to talk to. So that's why I call him Superfan Adam Shawhan. He's just a fan of all the shit and like super dedicated. But
and anybody who's a wiener dog breeder is okay by me.
Yeah.
That's true, Jim. Dean approved says Jesse wants to drink, guys. Jesse does want to drink. Jeff wants a You Guys Are Fine shirt. I want a You Guys Are Fine shirt. That's 4 people.
I'm gonna stop drinking.
That seems like a rational choice. We were actually I was gonna grab Mad Libs because we're already at that 2-hour mark, guys. We were rocking.
I want to watch The Mandalorian.
Oh, Justin. Also, if you do want that great tone, I accidentally stumbled upon a great AC/DC sound. I bought Seymour Duncan makes these pickups called Antiquities, and what they are is they're humbuckers that are aged so that they sound like they were pulled out of like a 1958 Gibson. Ooh. They're a little pricey. They're like $120 a pickup, but I stuck those in an Epiphone Dot, which is like an ES335, and that thing sounds like a perfect AC/DC machine.
Whoa!
I play that, and I'm just like, holy shit, I'm Angus Young. So
I understood all those words. This has been really fun because I've been following because you guys know more about guitars than I do for sure. But that was the first time where I understood all the things you said, all of those terms. I didn't get lost in the mumbo jumbo of like I kind of know what this is, but I don't know what the specificity, and I couldn't keep up. And I'm just not gonna jump in because you were in the middle.
Yeah,
of
I was just.
You guys were in the middle of one.
I want to like type it all.
When one of you was like, "Oh, Jesse, you play guitar too, right?" And I was like, "Uh-huh." So no, I was like, I understood those, and I got excited because I know what those things are, and I know what those things mean, and that sounds super fucking badass. And that buying that pickup and that guitar is still way less expensive than getting a Gibson of that year would be. So.
Oh yeah, that's why I did it because here's my ES335 alike.
Yeah.
Just
real quick. Guitar.
It's a pretty guitar, but it's not, like it's a nice guitar, but it's like a standard value.
Right. It's an Epiphone. I paid like $340 for it back in the day. They're like $450 now.
It's
they're nice instruments, but they're like, Whereas, like, what would a like 1958 Gibson cost right now?
$2,200 minimum.
Minimum.
This is about $400, and I put in the Gibson. I put in the antiquity humbuckers. I completely did my electronics. I put on a nice bridge, a graphite nut, and I had it set up. And all told, it was about $900 for the whole thing.
Wow.
So still less than half of what a Gibson was, and it plays and sounds fucking phenomenal. Is it as good as a Gibson? You could argue that it isn't, but it's good enough for me, and for the money, you can't beat it.
Hey, Sean,
I like that attitude.
I haven't looked at any anyway. Does Epiphone still make really good beginner bass packages?
No.
No,
I don't know about the bass stuff. Like their really, really cheap stuff is meh, but if you spend about $400 or more, you're going to get solid stuff.
Because do you remember when they had put out like an introductory bass guitar? Do you remember that was like what? That was like early 2000s or something.
Are you talking a bass? It's in BASS or BASE?
SS, like they put out an electric bass.
I'd buy a Squire first. As a matter of fact, that's what I have is a Squire. Squire makes great bass stuff.
That's what I started. That's what my regular starting are. But that was like because Squire did the whole starting kits for your Strat style guitars and for your basses and whatnot. And Epiphone got into that. Maybe it was just very short lived then because maybe it was just a very brief flash in the pan. Because I swear to God, when I was looking at my Strat, Epiphone was doing intro guitar packages and they were also doing intro bass packages. And I thought that was weird because I had been doing all my research and doing all my first learning about them, and I was like, I wouldn't think you would want to buy an Epiphone bass, but they were doing a really good like bass intro bass. I didn't really still make those. Maybe they don't even make them.
Well,
yeah, I would go with Squire. Squires actually come up quite a bit in their quality. So if you're willing to spend, and it's not even a lot, like $350, you're going to get a really solid bass to start with.
I would probably go.
I got the 5.
Outside of Anomaly, I'd probably go at Ibanez starter if they have a good one though.
Also, little known secret: there is a company. If you look them up, they're called Rondo Music, RONDO.
Okay.
They do produce some cheaper stuff like Douglas and SX, but look at the Agile brand.
Okay.
Although I don't know if they do Agile basses, but Agile guitars. You're going to spend about half of what you would to get the same quality from any other brand.
Okay.
I have one that Ashley got me that I know like the guitar itself was like a $400 guitar at the time. Now it'll be about $500, so it's gone up a little in price. But still, it plays better than most guitars that are grand.
I'm gonna talk to you about that because
Absolutely.
This is what I'm playing right now, Sean, and this is as much of it as I'm showing, and it's going away now. Goodbye. So that's as much as you got to see of my guitar. I love him. I love him dearly. I've had him for a very, very long time, but I am...
Name?
Kurt, John, Rick, Derek, Lennon, Cobain.
Wow. That's a moniker. See, the guitars I showed tonight, the ES... Okay, you saw Monster. The 335 alike is called Charlotte.
Yeah.
And then the bass is Barry.
To be fair, Sean, this was still my very first electric guitar. So it got all of my inspirations mashed into one name.
My first guitar did not get named until... Here's the funny thing. I didn't start naming my guitars. My friends did. They named an acoustic of mine Blue because of the color. And then when I got married, Ashley started naming my guitars to point them out. One had it's a long story. One has Nacho written on it, so she called him Nacho. And then I had an Explorer made from Epiphone, which I don't have anymore, that she called Blackie because he was black. And from there... I decided I had Blue, I had Nacho, and I had Blackie. So at the time, I have a name for my original first electric guitar. And since he was my first electric guitar, he's Sonny, Sonny. And I still have Sonny, and I will not part with Sonny to save my life.
This is my baby.
That's your Sonny.
This thing's worth $50, and at this point, probably I think it was a starter kit. 150 for him, or 150 or 125 for him in the amp. Still in the amp too, by the way. It was a 50-watt crate, which was great too because this particular kit that my Guitar Center was doing, it was they were doing the Squires with the crates, and it was so much nicer than any of the amps they were putting with any other packages. And the thing that pissed me off was this was like months before Crate released their newer design with like the blue tooling, like the electric blue on all their knobs and stuff like that. So they came out with this super hip like electric blue tooling right after mine, which still has just like the basic crate. I don't think there's any color in the things. It looks like the most generic, little road amp. And but you know what? I like that. I love that about it now.
Yeah.
It's solid and sturdy. It's been a footstool. It's been a seat. It's been storage. It's been a speaker.
It just chills over there.
That's Bob, and I love Bob.
And did you know that crate is long gone out of business?
They're
long gone. Unfortunately.
But
I will say, there's something about your first guitar you just can't get rid of it.
No, you can't.
I've had Sonny. Honestly, if you were to sell them on the used market, is probably worth $200. If you were to buy a brand new version of it right now, it'd be like $600, $650. But still, for me, if somebody said they stole your Paul Reed Smith, I'd be upset. But if they said Sonny's gone too, I probably wouldn't get over it for a couple of weeks.
Oh, I hear you. Trust me. That makes sense.
I wrote a lot of music on that guitar. My worst moments in life when I was just trying to deal with things were spent playing music on that guitar.
Yep.
It's one of those things, as a guitar player, I think you can understand what I'm about to say. You develop a relationship with your instrument.
You do.
And this is something Ashley didn't understand until at one point I had a guitar named Georgia. And in order to get a new amp, which I really needed because I didn't have a good sounding amp, she was like, well, I'm going to be honest, if you want to do that, you got to come up with some cash, so you might have to sell something. So I decided I was going to get rid of Georgia. And the night I sold Georgia, I came home, and I didn't have to work the next day. And she said that's when she understood it, because I came home, I didn't say much, and I started drinking, and I got really drunk, and I passed out.
Aww.
Because I was really upset about getting rid of Georgia, because Georgia just had something special about her.
Georgia was a part of your life. No, absolutely, especially when you write songs on them and stuff like that.
Yes.
My ritual thing when I was younger, as a teenager and stuff, my friends all had to say that if you wanted it, if people say, "Can I play your guitar?" you had to say his name. And it was just a weird little ritual. It was like a respect thing. I had friends who, like, for some reason, it was hard for them to say fucking a few words in a row. But I would not let them touch it until they could. I'd walk them through it and everything, but it was like sort of this rite of passage, just like respect thing. Like, you must say his name, and now you can hold him. That's
exactly.
It always was.
And I totally understand and respect that.
Yeah. Did we lose?
Is that Shit Pancake?
It was.
This is Shit Pancake.
Yeah, there he is. I grabbed him because he's been scratching at his ear. We're trying to get his
buddy,
gross ear stuff taken care of, but he keeps scratching at it.
Stinky little ear.
Yep.
Take my stinky ear away.
We are Champagne Cake.
It's part of who I am. Oh yeah, we discovered that if you slur the word champagne cake, it sounds just like shit pancake. So that's
nice.
So we want to market him to kids. He's Champagne Cake the cat.
Champagne cake.
Nice.
Like, what does that mean? I don't know.
No, if you look right here that was my first really nice guitar. That's a Gibson Explorer. Her name is Aurelia. And I named her that because I actually had run into an individual named that, and I thought it was very pretty. And when I looked up the name, Aurelia means the golden one.
Ancient Roman name. Traditional Roman name. It's the feminine of Aurelius. So Marcus Aurelius.
Correct.
The feminine Aurelia. So
we finally have to drink for this one.
Flaming TP says $V, don't forget. I think you mean
hell yeah.
$V, remember.
How about we play Grand Theft Auto V?
Remember the gunpowder treason and plot. I know of no reason the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. That's the rest of the rhyme.
Coming soon to my channel. I was talking to Flaming TP on the Matriarch about this. You remember, guys? I think I sent you guys the pictures of my Sith lower. It's got Palpatine's face on the magwell, and instead of saying AR-15, it says Death Star 15.
Oh, we loved that one.
Yes, and if you look at the selector switch, now you can't really select fully auto, but they do this on a lot of lowers where they'll put something on there. Actually, I got the inspiration because people were doing stuff like no pew, 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 pew. So mine says, for safe, it says Supreme Chancellor. For semi-auto, it says emergency powers. And then for fully auto, even though I can't select it, it says it's treason then. And of course, because this is a Sith lower, I had to pick the most powerful caliber I could. And it had to be a big bore for my channel, so it is a caliber called 50 Beowulf. And it is basically, if you look at the 50 caliber cartridge in the Desert Eagle, it's the same thing, but longer. So I actually was on an auction site, and there was a guy who was selling his 50 Beowulf upper for a significantly less amount that I could get one new, and it was barely used. And so I bought it. So it is on its way to me, and sometime late next week I will be putting that together, and we will have the Death Star 15 ready to go. And I am really excited. And I actually sent pictures of it to my brother, and I actually sent it to him with a sound clip, and I'll imitate it for you. The sound clip was, "Everything is proceeding as I have foreseen it."
That's a great laugh.
Excellent.
Thank you. So I'm just really excited about it. By the way, the serial number is Order 66.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, real quick, scroll down. So he was talking about not being able to get into Nirvana and stuff. Did you want to tell people about our odd, pretentious interest in our new not favorite band?
Oh, the shirt.
The shirt.
The shirt. Wait, the shirt. Or that favorite. Well, I wanted to do something first. I was gonna pull up this chat and because I couldn't resist going, "Tramps like us, baby, we were born to run."
Cool.
Actually, I don't think he's still in the chat, but my buddy Steve, he and I were actually in a band together in high school, and he's a drummer. He's still in a band, which is called Exit.Dream, and they have a YouTube channel. Great stuff, by the way. But he and I are both really big Alice in Chains fans, and he and I are looking into actually, he's got friends with recording equipment. He and I are looking to do a cover of Wood. Have you guys ever heard that song?
I love that song. It's my favorite song.
That is your favorite
song.
Oh,
yeah.
I think about that every time it comes on my playlist. I'm like, and there's Jeff's favorite Alice in Chains song. And then
the one I want to try and convince him to do right now, there's two songs. Have you ever heard Them Bones?
Of course.
Oh, I love that song. What about Junkhead?
Yeah.
I love Junkhead.
It's really simple to play. My guitar teacher actually taught me back in the day. Heaven Beside You is so fun to play.
Yeah, I like Heaven Beside You a lot.
It's so fun to play. It's so fun to play in the guitar too, just because of the bend.
Jerry Cantrell's soloing style was very influential on me on soloing because he had that long, slow bend where he would be like, doo doo.
I love that. That's my favorite part of Heaven.
Nobody else does that.
The way where he leans into it and it almost gets more extreme at the end instead of like.
Yes.
He doesn't pull it hard in the beginning. He like slides into it and then like. You know what?
Boom.
You know what bend is sort of similar that I love is Billy Corgan's in Bullet Butterfly Wings.
Yes. Yes, I love that song.
It's the same kind of slow pull. It's a little bit. It's a nice little.
I love that song.
Yeah.
Oh, since if you're curious. Since you have a Squire, which is 3 single coils, if you want his 90s sound, you want to look for the Fender. Well, they're not Fender anymore because they're not endorsed, but there's a company called Lace. They have what are called sensor pickups. You want the following. The bridge would be the Lace red. Middle would be the silver, and then the neck is blue. So red, silver, blue.
So you're eventually gonna advise me on all of this
stuff.
So
America.
Of course.
So I just want to take a moment. First of all, I do want to tell that story, but we're gonna drink one for Proper since we killed him.
Yeah, he
Thanks,
did.
Oh
chat.
no,
Mindless Mob. This one's for you. You guys killed Proper.
Now, if you could kill the Jeff, well, nothing.
Not as quickly as Dion's ass tapped out on Saturday.
Yeah, Sean, on our Halloween stream, I don't know if you were there or for any of it.
I only caught a few moments of it. That's when I sent the super chat in.
Dude, I actually don't remember most.
I
of that
did
night.
remember that you had sent a super. I was like, I don't know if you're there. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you sent a super chat. Like,
I had to work, and it was Halloween, and I actually sent you a text, Jesse. I don't know if you remember. I was like, I am busier than the hot wife at a swinger party.
I did read that. I cracked up, but I was also drunk, and so I cracked up and didn't respond because I didn't have fingers. So
Wait, you don't
understood.
Not at that time. At that particular moment in time, the fingers didn't work. But I remember I read that. I went, ha! And then I carried on. And then I went back and I read it multiple more times because I was like, I feel like there was a text I never responded to. And then I kept opening it up and being like, how do I respond to this now? I think it started with like, I hope you guys are drinking, have a good time. And then it was that. And I was like, this was so specific to Halloween and it was incredible. But I'm also like, where do I until I have a new conversation starter? I just don't know what to say. You know, like this is bad.
Yeah, like I got into my job on Saturday and I sat down and I looked at him and went, holy shit. Oh, it's gonna be a busy night. It's gonna be a busy night.
Oh, I'm sure it was. Dude, the jizz stain on this bottle looks like a face. You see
it does.
You see it?
I see it totally.
Totally see it. It's weird. I don't know.
Nice shot, Jeff.
Good song from the 90s. Hey, man, nice shot.
So what? Okay. So
Bukkake! No, I'm just kidding.
So we're chilling out. Was it even over the
Did we lose Justin?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. That's why we drank for Justin. We'll drink again. We killed him. He dead. We can drink. We'll drink for the death of Justin.
So what you're saying is the death of a friend playing worth $10.
That's right. But Judd Proper's gonna wake up naked on his bathroom floor tomorrow. It's good for him. It's very possible.
I mean, don't we all dream to wake up naked on our bathroom floor?
No. So here's the thing: is I have Mad Libs here. That's not the point. The point is I had a point. Oh, what's the name of the song? So Jeff and I are listening to YouTube, and we're on like a rabbit hole. We're just like going on the recommended. It is doing pretty solid stuff
she
for
puts
us.
on Bunny and the Echo Men.
That's what it came up.
That was the first. Yeah,
it came up, and I didn't put it on because because you were like, Echo and the Bunnymen. I was like, oh right, I remember this song. It came up because you had shown it to me earlier. I had only heard it when you showed it to me earlier. Yeah. I think I might have known it maybe from before-ish, but I only really knew who it was when you showed it to me. And I was really into it. And then after that, it brought us to the Smiths. And what's the name of that? Their most famous song?
It's a great song, but the name's really weird. Hold on.
It's like it's their most famous hit. But it's just a really vague name.
What's the name of the band?
It's the Smiths.
How Soon Is Now?
No, I've heard of it. I don't think I've heard the song itself.
You know the song. You've definitely heard it. It's the I am human and I need to be loved. Just like everybody else does.
Hold
on, I just saw something from Sweet Pea. She was talking about "Stay Away" or "Down in a Hole." Great songs from Alice in Chains. Also, one of my favorites.
Yep.
Have you guys heard the song "Angry Chair"?
I love Angry Chair. Yeah.
No.
Great instrumentation. That's one of those songs I actually really don't care for the lyrics in it, but I love the instrumentation in it.
Yeah.
Kind of like Wood. Actually, honestly, Wood's the same way for me. Where like. Do
you know what Wood's about?
I don't.
It's about a friend of theirs who overdosed on heroin.
Oh shit! That changes it for me.
Yeah, I mean, didn't Lane Staley?
Yes, he did. I hate to say this, but Lane Staley was a raging heroin addict, and when he died in 2002 from a heroin overdose, all of us were kind of like, at least me and all my friends, were all like, "Well, who didn't see that coming?" I mean, it was sad, but we were all kind of like, Lane. We're sad you're gone, man, but we sadly knew this was coming. It's kind of like Amy Winehouse. It's like, who didn't see this coming? And it's like you feel bad, but you feel bad because you know there's nothing you could do.
Oh, when people tell you to go to rehab and your response is no, no, no.
Yeah, you're screwed.
One, it's a pretty solid indication you should go to rehab. Yes, and two, it's a pretty solid indication that you're not ready to help yourself.
No.
But what was I going to say though? So this comes up. First of all, I never realized I was echoing the Bunnymen, the People Are Strange cover in Lost Boys.
That's that. Oh shit, I didn't
know that. That was Sweet. Sweet Pea was saying that. Yeah, the Lost Boys.
People Are Strange. Interesting song that most people don't know are a cover because it was famous in the 80s.
Wait, people don't know that
it's a Doors song?
That's a Doors song?
No, different song. Okay. In the 80s, the Bangles did the song, and it's a cover. They didn't know that the song Hazy Shade of Winter was actually from Simon and Garfunkel.
That's the one. Okay, that's the band. Okay, because I remember I told you this. I was like, somebody covered Hazy Shade of Winter, and everybody thinks it's them. But it was originally Simon and Garfunkel song. But I picked it up because you kept saying you don't know that song, and I was like, oh well.
The original was done on a 12-string guitar, and it is amazing.
Oh yeah,
I'm not trying to diss the cover, but the original was mind-blowingly good.
I know the original far better than the cover. But that's me. I'm also the only person who realizes that I Think We're Alone Now is by Tommy James and the Shondells and not Tiffany. So
it blew my mind when you played that. I was like,
not a Tiffany song.
Tiffany.
Hey, I got something interesting for you. Hey, Jeff.
Yo,
did you think Tiffany Darwish was hot?
Is that the redheaded lady?
She's the lady who's saying, I think we're alone now.
Dude, that was before my time.
Okay, but if you look her up, she's pretty hot even as an older lady. Did you know she posed for Playboy?
That's when I first noticed her. I was like, oh, Playboy? I'm a kid and I got the internet? Of course I'm going to look at her.
I saw her as a kid in the 80s, and then when I found out that she posed for Playboy when she was more of a MILF, I was like, oh, I'm so there.
You got to find out she's really a redhead.
You two have these great moments sometimes that are just like beautiful bro moments. You're like, hey, what? Hey,
well, it's like when we were doing the Street Fighter stream, and I was like, it's a shame we didn't get Kylie Minogue's ass, and so I just sent you the picture. I was like, here you go, Kylie Minogue's ass, because we got cheated.
Damn straight.
That's why you're the best.
This is why we love you. So we didn't finish the story. So the song comes on, and Jeff, you said that might have been the first time you heard it start to finish.
Yeah,
you actually paid attention to start to finish. I've heard it countless times because it's been in a bunch of movies and stuff like that.
Which song?
The Smith song, the whatever it is. It's if you've heard it, you recognize it right away because it's a really distinctive synth note. There's like a weird. It's just like a weird note that you just you just play the thing. If you recognize it from that, give it a second.
Yeah, I recognize that.
Play it till it gets to the full thing. I don't know, copy my own.
I recognize it. I'm sure I've heard the whole thing.
It's that song. So you've heard it somewhere. It's been in the back. Even just the music's been in the background, a lot of things. But we're both like really tuning into it. We're like, this is a really good song. And we're like, Jeff was like, oh, this is the Smiths. This is what the song is. This is a cool song. I'm like, I never really realized this was the Smiths. I think I knew, but never really. And we're both like, that's a band. We know a lot of stuff. We both realized we knew a lot of stuff about the Smiths. We knew a lot of their like cultural impact and all of their influences.
They're the hipster band before hipsters were
exactly. We knew all of like down to their influences. We knew their aesthetic and all this shit. We're like, do you know any other Smiths songs? No, I don't know any. So we're like, maybe we like the Smiths. I don't know. Let's put on the Smiths. Turns out we do not like the Smiths.
I need a job. I have a job.
And then I got a job, and now my life sucks.
That's how I feel about Dishwalla. I actually had a buddy who was really into them, and I listened to some other music. I'm like, yeah, it's okay.
The thing is, I actually want to continue our Smiths rabbit hole until I've heard all of their music.
I don't, because it's going to ruin the one song of theirs that I actually like.
It won't ruin it for me, because if we broke it up where we did 5 songs a week that we had never heard of theirs.
Because here's my problem, is that one of the things I like so much about this song is the lyrics are very like ethereal, sort of like metaphorical. So it's
very dreamy almost.
It's very dreamy. It's very dreamy.
To me, that's the kind of song you like if you heard it driving in the middle of the night. Or if you're kind of fucked up in the middle of the night and it comes on, or at the end of the night at a bar, because we were not sober and we were at the end of that. It's got this like
it trips. It's very trip. It's very trip.
But
it's very like an inherently.
I think honestly, it's like a pair of arms, and once the main bass line kicks in, and I think it holds you the entire time.
It really does.
You can't stop paying attention to it because
you're kind of like, even if you don't want to listen to it, it's like what you're in.
When we were in the shower and listened to it again, you couldn't stop.
That was cool.
I was going to say that reminds me of my favorite Pink Floyd album is like that. It's "Wish You Were Here."
Oh,
and the first song and the end song are, and I'm quoting, "Shine on You Crazy Diamond" parts 1 through 4, and then "Shine on You Crazy Diamond" parts 5 through 8. And the thing is, though one is like 17 minutes, the other's like 20, and it is one of those songs that like it's really great when you're drunk. I hate to say it.
You'd never sit down and probably do it sober, but when you're drunk,
no, I've done it sober and I still love the music.
Yeah,
but when you're drunk, it's like even better because there's just something about the music that just lends itself to that. Now that whole album I could listen to beginning to end, time and time again. I actually had a thing in high school. Listen to me, in college, because I lived in Flagstaff. My family's in Tucson, so it was a 4-hour drive. So anytime I drove from Flagstaff to Tucson or Tucson to Flagstaff, my rule was I had this ritual. I would listen to The Wall, beginning to end on that trip.
It's a good choice. This is how I would listen. That's It's funny because The Wall has my favorite Pink Floyd song on it. It has Comfortably Numb.
Great song.
Yeah,
Great
which is
song.
my hands down favorite. As an album, it's really I think it. But like, to me, Dark Side of the Moon, even though it probably has the fewest of my like favorite Pink Floyd songs individually,
It's got money though.
It's not just such a fun experience, but it's such an easy experience. Like really, all the stuff about the reason why it pairs with movies and what is because it has such a logical flow to it. It's such an easy rhythm to the whole pacing of the album that it's like you find yourself just tripping from one song to the next, and all of a sudden the lunatic's on the grass and you didn't know what you were doing with yourself. That's my favorite song on that easily. I mean, that's just the best song. I love Money. It's not the best song at all. Not even close to the best song. It's just I love that song, and it is the most Dark Side of the Moon song. And it's that song.
My favorite part about that album is the story that a lot of the members of the band have no recollection of recording it.
Yeah, that's even better.
They were so high. They don't remember much of it.
Many times. So anyway, this is the problem, Self-Loathing Tranny Jeremy, is we decide to go listen to some Smith songs, right? Turns out none of their other lyrics are like this. All of their other lyrics are like, you fucking wrote down the most boring journal entry of what happened in your day and then sang it.
Like he's riding on his bike, like, I need this, and I stood up, then I took a ride and walked into a door.
And this is the fucking one that broke me. His girlfriend in a fucking coma. Hold on, let me look up the lyrics. About a dude whose girlfriend is in a coma, and he's thinking, I could just kill you. I could just strangle you, and I kind of want to, but I could never let anything bad happen to you.
Girlfriend in a coma. I know it's serious. Girlfriend in a coma. I don't want to see her. Do you really think she'll pull through? Oh, God, this...
excuse me, you missed that there were times I could have murdered her.
There were times I could have murdered her, but, I would hate anything to happen to her.
And then there are times I could have strangled her, but, I would have hated anything to happen to her. What the fuck? And the way he sings it, too, it's not like, there are times I could have strangled her. It's like, there are times I could have just strangled her. But I'd hate him. You
know how I said we'll never...
Also, he has a branch. He puts, plants in his
giant
pocket.
branch in his back pocket.
Tree in his pocket. He's dancing on stage with a tree in his pocket. I don't know what's happening.
I will give the guy credit, though. He looks so comfortable. Like, have you ever watched the video for...
He's the most comfortable weirdo I've ever seen.
Because, the song Spin Right Round Like a Record, baby?
Yeah,
the video...
You spin me right round, baby, right round.
In the video is doing all this weird shit, but it looks like he's putting on an act. Like, he's going through the motions. It looks like bad acting when he's doing stuff in the video. When I see this guy from this band perform, it's not like
he's not putting on an act.
Yeah, he's
this weird.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
he is.
And in that video where he had all those weirdos that kind of falling on the bicycle. I was like, what is this?
Yeah, there's a music video where it's him riding on a bicycle. This is a pack of people emulating him wearing Smith shirts, following him around, uglier versions of him.
Same haircut and glasses.
What is happening?
If you want to hear some great guitar work, and it will blow your mind, because this is something that's called progressive rock or progressive metal, check out a guy named Angel Vivaldi. It's all instrumental, and I've actually met him. He's a really cool guy, and he's Italian, so that he gets points there. But Ashley is a big fan. And I actually went to see him. Ashley notified me, and her selling point, because I'm an Angel Vivaldi fan, but not as big as she is, she's like, well, he's there with Nita Strauss. Nita Strauss is the guitarist for, who am I thinking? Alice Cooper.
Oh.
But Nita Strauss is fucking incredible. And I was so stoked to see Nita Strauss that I was like, well, you could have sold me on Angel Vivaldi, but Nita Strauss is there? Okay, I'm in. And unfortunately, she couldn't stay for the after part because she had to go help. Alice Cooper's guitarist got sick. This was last December. So she got a call from him while at the show, and she's like, sure, I'll be right there after my show. So she went and helped him out. But I got to meet Angel Vivaldi, and he's one hell of a cool guy. No. And what was really cool is he and I started talking guitar pickups, which was awesome. And but here's the thing I love about heavy metal. When people talk about acceptance and inclusivity in all forms of heavy metal, you crush it in. especially in progressive metal. Tosin Abasi is an African-American gentleman and fucking incredible. Angel Vivaldi.
Progressive in it.
Yeah. But the thing is, I'm just saying, like, nobody gives a flying fuck about where you come from, what you look like, or who you're interested in. What we care about is your music. So, like, Angel Vivaldi is Italian, but he's gay. Nobody cares. The guy's fucking incredible on the guitar. That's what we care about. And I was going to say, Tosin Abasi, by the way, Bill and Ted 3, Jeff, he does the guitar work.
Oh, okay.
And Tosin Abasi is the guy who got me to go, okay, the 8-string guitar is not a gimmick. It's actually a musical anomaly that with the right person, it can be amazing. Okay. So I'm just saying, it's like you go to these concerts and you will see some old lady. And when I say old, like she's in her 70s, she's got long gray hair, she's headbanging. And then there's some young black guy next to her. And then you got, like a lesbian couple. You've got a middle-aged woman and we're all hanging together. Nobody cares. None of that matters. Dude, we just want to be enjoying the music, and we're all together because the music is great.
Let me tell you a fun story. All right, so have you heard of the band Hatebreed?
Van Hatebreed? No, I haven't.
Have you heard of the band Hatebreed?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so you know how they market themselves, and you know what circles they market themselves to?
Vaguely, it's been a long time.
Well, just from the name, there's a lot of they have a lot of skinheads in their fan base,
Right.
And they have a certain reputation as being, they went, when I was about 16 years old, the tour they were on when I happened to see them, long story, was called the Supremacy Tour. So, they know their audience. That said, I saw them. So the reason I saw them is my cousin actually was their drummer when they started out in New Haven prior to taking off. And he has spent a lifetime kicking himself for not staying in the band. He stayed friends with all the guys and stuff. And so they would always, the thing is, so Toad's Place in New Haven is the CBGB's of New Haven. Unlike CBGB's, Toad's is still open. But it's that same thing, because the whole thing was New Haven, Connecticut is a stone's throw from New York City. So all the bands that came through and played big shows in New York came and played the Coliseum in New Haven, and the same way they played the big shows in New York and then showed up at CBGB in the after hours, they would go to the Coliseum and show up at Toad's in the after hours. So they had all those same things where Dylan went through there and the Stones went through there back in the day. The Doors played there. And the same thing too, where CBGBs, where the underground acts before they got big, before they were selling out the Coliseum, were coming through and just doing Toads. So it's a really cool venue. It's got the same richness of history as CBGB. So it was a great place because my cousin growing up, he worked club promotion there at Point. So it was a great place to get to go and see some free shows and stuff like that. So he brings us to this metal fest. It was their metal fest, their winter metal festival, and the two headlining bands are Hatebreed and God Forbid. So you have one band that's on their Supremacy Tour. The lead singer for God Forbid, meanwhile, is this big black dude with huge ass dreads. And my cousin takes us up to the green room to hang out with the bands, beforehand, introduced me to all the Hatebreed guys and whatnot. And it's like, so it's the whole shit too. It's like the fucking social justice warriors, man. They caught wind of something like that today. A band going on the Supremacy Tour, fucking. And it sounds kind of fucked up. I'll admit, I'll be the person to say it rides that line of questionability. But at the same time, they're here co-headlining this show with this band with this big ass black dude, and all the fans are there getting the fuck along. It's not like all the Hatebreed fans are in here trying to beat the shit out of the God Forbid fans and vice versa. Everyone's in there moshing together. This is my very first mosh pit, and let me tell you, it was the most brutal pit I've ever been in, but also one of the most and this is the thing, people who've gone to metal concerts will tell you, a good metal pit is brutal and you can get fucked up in it. You do not wear jewelry in that. You do not wear piercings in that. You will lose expensive watches. You will get, shit ripped out of your nose. But if you hit the ground, you'll barely feel it before 5 people have you back on your feet again.
Right. Exactly.
I had to fight my way into that pit because every time I got close, a bunch of people were like, ooh, protect the girl, protect the girl. And it took like a fucking couple band sets to fight my way in and be like, no, I got this. For them to be like, oh, okay, still protect the girl if anything happens. But but that's I love mosh pit culture because that's mosh pit culture is we look at everyone is like only come here if you can hang. But if you can hang and you can follow the rules of decency, we're gonna hang hard and we're gonna take care of it.
Yes. And that's what I love about metal culture. It's like, I don't care where the fuck you come from. I don't care like what you are, who you fuck, what you worship. None of that shit matters. If you're here and you're real about the music, you belong here and we got your back. And I love that about metal culture.
We should go to a metal concert with you wearing one of those, like, the samurai suits they make for, like, the pretend, you know, when you want to pretend samurai, like, so they're really squishy and bouncy. Sumo suits, not samurai, sumo suits. So just put you in one of those, like you just walk into the middle of the pit and stand there. And everyone's just like, boing, boing.
See, and that's the thing. I love.
I am your god.
My favorite fans in the world from every concert I've ever been to. There's two sets of fans that I love more than anything. One is Marty Friedman fans, which Marty Friedman used to be part of Megadeth, and now he's just on his own. But you will never find people who are more happy to be there and more excited. And I love Marty Friedman fans. And by the way, twice I've seen Marty Friedman, and I got introduced to Hive Mind, which is a local band. They're fucking amazing. And I got introduced to The Fine Constant, which is headlined by Sarah Longfield. And she is an incredible guitar player. I love that woman. She's amazing. And then Megadeth fans. These are the guys, like, I was sitting next to this huge Native American guy. And we're headbanging, and I just bumped him, and he looked at me, and I went like this, and he's just like, yeah! And we're just, like, headbanging together the rest of the night. And
best too.
It's just fantastic. And I'm sitting there watching the mosh pit, like you said, and it's like these guys are going hard. They're hitting each other hard. Someone falls down. Everybody stops and picks him up. They're like, you okay? All right, let's go. You know, everybody looks after each other.
So, Sean, because you're not on Twitter, you didn't see this. I got to show you, though. I posted this. I'll just show you this little clip here. Well, I can share the screen. I guess that would make more sense. But yeah. I'll show you what I posted on Twitter the other day, because I think you'll appreciate it. Also, I never personally got super into Megadeth, but I cream my pants for Symphony of Destruction every time.
Yeah, great song.
There's something about that song that's just like, God fucking damn. I want that to be like, that's one of those, like, when you hit, there's certain songs where you're like, this needs to be the soundtrack for my life, like at certain points in my life. That's one where, like, I want to write a scene. Like, I hear certain songs, like, I want to write a scene in a movie where this is what's playing, you know?
I've met 3 of the original founding members of Megadeth.
No way.
Yes, I met Chris Poland, who is a hell of a nice guy. He's their original guitarist. I've met David Ellefson 3 times, and he is a hell of a nice guy. And I met Dave Mustaine, who's the lead singer. And the cool thing about him is I saw him at NAMM, and I stuck my hand out, and I said, it's a real honor to meet you. And you'd expect him to be like, oh, well, thank you, you know. And he goes, well, thank you. I really appreciate that. He was just so genuine, and he seemed to really appreciate the connection. And cool story on Twitter, somebody tweeted at him once, oh, I love playing Holy Wars, The Punishment Due, and they put up a post of, like, the tab. And he responded, he goes, I'm so glad you like it, but that tab's wrong. Let me tell you how it really goes. And he actually took the time to transcribe the correct tab for the guy.
Oh my God, that's so cool. I love that. Ugh. So, as you probably realize if you thought about it for a second, you would know full well that given my hobby / one of my many jobs, I am only a single degree of separation from another metal icon, and only a single degree of separation in like probably 50 different directions from Bruce Dickinson.
Oh wow!
Because as a lot of people know, he continues to be an épée fencer.
Oh, nice.
And so one of his things apparently turns out he would, like, when he was touring, sometimes he would like go to the local fencing clubs and see if they had open bouting and come in and just fence. So, like, I know a whole bunch of people who just fenced with Bruce Dickinson a handful of times when they were on tour through the US. Yeah. One of the people told me, he was like, he didn't know, like, he knew he'd heard of Iron Maiden and all that stuff, and he knew he might have known things or whatever it was, but the guy basically showed up at the club, this guy who was like, oh yeah, my band's playing in town. He's like, oh, that's so cool. He didn't even ask, he didn't even think to ask, and he just fenced this guy, had a really nice time, and all of a sudden realized later, oh shit, that was like his band that was playing in town was Iron fucking Maiden.
That's awesome.
So, and my first introduction to them was through my cousin, the same cousin who was formerly the drummer of Hatebreed. He actually has introduced me to a lot of a really cool music, including Iron Maiden. He was my first soiree into that. And so you can read the tweet caption, but I'll show you what this is. I'll just show you the story since I feel like I told it very well right here.
Mm-hmm.
So at once, and yeah, one of the two. So go back to the beginning, obviously. So this really weird thing just happened to me. I'm driving home from work, and Number of the Beast comes on my playlist because it's a great freaking song, and I turn the volume all the way up, and I'm like rocking out to it, and then take a big breath, that big scream, that yeah, which I can do like a fucking baller, and I just belt it all out through the whole thing, and suddenly I almost passed out, like just straight up driving on the highway, vision goes wonky, feeling weak and wobbly, like see my car start to swerve, little voice in my head goes, oh my god, is this it? Are we gonna die here? So pretty much either I just got possessed by Satan, or I just accidentally blew out too much oxygen all at once, and yeah, one of the two. So seems fine, we'll see.
That's awesome. So just real quick, let me take my camera here. Ashley had this done as a present for me, but if you can see, so I've got the signature. There's Dave Mustaine. That's he's not with the band anymore, but that's Chris Broderick, and that's David Ellefson, the bass player. So there's me with David Ellefson, Dave Mustaine, and Chris Broderick.
That's so cool.
I don't have a picture of when I saw Chris Poland. Chris Poland isn't with the band anymore, of course. What's really funny is in 2004, when they recorded the album The System Has Failed, he did actually the studio work on guitar. And Dave Mustaine said, Chris, I'd love to have you go tour with us. And Chris was very candid with me. He said, Dave, when I was touring with Megadeth, I was a raging heroin addict. And I know if I go on tour again, that's going to happen again. I can't do it. I'm sorry. And of course, Dave Mustaine has had his demons with it. And he was like, Chris, totally understood, man. No worries. But he has his own band now that he does. So when I went to NAMM, I met Chris. And the funny thing is, Chris Poland he looks like your average dad. He's got gray hair. He's got glasses. He was wearing a baseball cap that day. I mean, he seriously looked like my friend's dad. And he was so nice. And one of the funny things about him is there's a tendon in his finger that's missing. So he calls it his wonky finger. And he said it's helped him with his dexterity. So when I met him, I was like, dude, it's such an honor to meet you. I wish I had a wonky finger. And he just started cracking up. He was like, that's awesome.
That's so cool. I fucking love when you meet people like that. I always hear those stories. I've so infrequently heard a story where someone's met a rock musician and had a bad experience. I'm sure it happens, but like I just had a friend who is a huge King Diamond fan and met him in Canada earlier. Up in Canada, eh? And said he was just the coolest, most same kind of thing. Like really made you feel like he appreciated you being there and taking.
Yeah.
There's this dude named Rich the Duke Ward. He is the guitarist in a band called Fozzy, which Chris Jericho's lead singer. But when I went to meet Chris Jericho, this dude was the nicest dude in the fucking world. Like, because we were there, it was Dustin's birthday, and I was just like, whatever, it's your birthday, you want to meet your favorite wrestler, cool. But this Rich the Duke Ward guy comes out and is like the nicest guy in the world. And then I start following on Facebook, and he's like just super genuine across the board. Yeah. I'm like, it seems like heavy metal guys just seem to be super fucking friendly.
Metal guys are the best. When I met Chris Broderick, who's now in a band called Active Defiance, he left Megadeth. Just he wanted to do something else. No hard feelings there. But when I met Chris Broderick, I've never seen anybody smile so much. He was like in such a good mood. And the thing is, and this is amazing, Chris Broderick actually started as a classical player. And so I've actually seen videos of him playing classical music. And if you think his metal is great, you watch him play classical and you're like, so when I met him, I was like, it's so cool to meet you. I said, I love watching your metal, but I said, I've looked you up just to watch your classical playing. And he just looks at me and he goes, now we know you're crazy. Like that. But such a nice guy. Such a nice guy. It was really fun to meet him.
I love to hear that. I think that's great. So do you guys want to hit a Mad Libs before we call this a night? All right. Let's do it. Chat, since y'all get the third word. So I will arbitrate for this one, and y'all get the third word. So just make sure you guys are being very active and very chatty, so that's good because this goes quick with three people. So you guys are starting to go over the plural. Chat is your first suggestion. Chat's gonna be a plural noun. So rapid fire the plural nouns for us. We're in our Kama Sutra book again, and
it's a ladies' night.
It's a ladies' night now. All right. So Sean's gonna start us off with an adverb.
An adverb. Remind me adverb.
Modifies a verb. So the LYs. So doing something blankly.
Hornily.
Pornily?
Hornily.
Hornily. Yes, I like this.
I like pornily.
I liked both. I was fine with either, but hornily seems explicitly appropriate. Jeff, a noun.
How about an avalanche?
Really funny. Just a quick thing. Somebody mentioned Def Leppard. Sweet Pea did. If anybody remembers Mr. Big, there was a guitar player named Paul Gilbert, and he actually has gone out on his own and done his solo stuff. And Paul Gilbert is really fucking incredible. And I actually had a friend who online, when I posted a picture of me playing guitar, he goes, "You look like Paul Gilbert's long lost brother." And I said, I wish I had his long lost talent.
So
that was funnier than it should have been.
So we got some great suggestions from the chat. Sweet Pea says, I like Pantera, R.I.P. Dime.
Oh, dude.
R.I.P. Dime.
He was there. I think you told me that once. That's so fucking. Yeah. That was
I have a friend who was a former coworker. He was a roadie in the 90s for Pantera. And he knew Dimebag actually pretty well on a personal level. And he said he was just like the nicest guy. And the thing is,
yeah, I heard that all in the wake of his death and shit. How he was just this really deep, like he was this, hardcore metal and whatnot. But he was this really nice and really decent dude and all that.
Yeah, and the thing that was amazing, I asked him once. I said, "Did he do a lot of drugs and stuff?" He goes, "Well, I did some stuff." But the cool thing was, unlike other guys who would push you to do it, like, "Oh, come on, man, do it." Don was like, "Hey, you want in?" And if you were just like, "Nah, it's not my thing," he's like, "It's cool, dude." And he never bothered you about it again. He was just really respectful.
I feel like that's usually when you're the guy whose nickname is something related to doing drugs, you're that guy usually.
Yeah.
You're the one who's like, I'm a fucking do it. I will snort, smoke, shoot, whatever you put in front of me. But you want to come on this journey with me? Come on. I understand this is my journey. You're invited, but I ain't pushing.
Exactly. And he was really cool like that. And so I had to ask him one day, I was like, so be honest with me. I'm sure the hangovers were... I said, I'm sure the hangovers were ruthless. How did they get by it? And he goes, dude, we bought Pedialyte by the case.
Oh, God. That is like the best kept secret, man.
I've got it in my fridge right now.
That shit's necessary. How do you think? As I've said many, many times, I've spoken openly about my struggles with the next day after drinking. How do you think I'm able to go and teach fencing?
Absolutely.
After these Pedialyte. Is it expensive? Maybe. That's what we need to for. It's not for the
Jeff, on Sunday, when did you wake up? Jeff, when did you wake up on Sunday this past weekend? I got to know.
So here's how my day went Sunday. I woke up fairly early, got normal breakfast, fell asleep in the afternoon because we banged.
Oh, that's true. Sunday was the day. So you got up early. I slept till like 1.
Yeah.
I didn't wake up until like 1 that afternoon. Like morning football was done. Because Eagles had the night game.
Because I'm getting prepared for this new Indiegogo launch, so I'm drawing like a ton.
So Jeff woke up early. Didn't you have like bathroom called and stuff like that? Got you up or some shit, and then
every morning is what wakes me up.
And then so he's up, doing morning and all that stuff. And so then we get to the evening. And I'm settling onto the couch for Sunday Night Football because it's Eagles versus Cowboys. Fuck you, Cowboys. And Jeff's out. Like literally, Jeff's like, I'm gonna stretch out for a little bit. And I'm like, you're tapping out, are you? He's like, I'm not. I'm like, okay. So he's over there.
Right. And the sky ain't blue.
Exactly. The game starts and it's going and whatever, and Jeff's snoring like minutes into the first quarter, and he wakes up in a little bit and he's like, oh, is the game over? Like, where's it in the game? And I'm like, where do you think? And he's like, oh, it's like the end of the third quarter or something. I'm like, Jeff, the first quarter just ended. Like, it's what time?
It gets dark here at 5 o'clock now.
Since daylight savings, which was that night before, which I also think is what part of why you crashed us early that night too. Is this was your first West Coast daylight savings? So you're spent a year adjusting to a new time zone, and now you have it flipped. And it's weird because the thing is, the light and dark is different out here than it is, where not so much the east versus west, but because we're further south, so the light cycles are really different. Actually, that was a huge adjustment for me coming from 5 years in Vermont, coming out here where it's like, you're pretty much as opposite as you can get north south in the U.S. And it definitely took me time to transition over to that. And moving here too was the first time, I think, because you get accustomed maybe to so much daylight, where like daylight savings, I actually had like it affected me. Like it fucked me up for a few days, like a couple times adjusting to the time jump. So
and Arizonans don't do the daylight savings.
You guys don't believe in it. So now you guys are an hour off from us, right?
Right, it's 1 o'clock here.
It's 1 a.m. for you now, so Thursday just got a lot shittier for you.
Not for me. I'm off on Thursdays and Fridays, so it's good.
You're a night guy, anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna be up till 5 a.m., so it'll be fine.
Yeah. So Jeff's like, I don't know, and I'm like, it's 6:30. He's like, what? I thought it was like 8 or 9. And then he goes out in minutes again, and
I just stopped trying to act like I wasn't tired.
Was that the night you got back up for Borat though? Was that the night we did Borat?
Yeah. I got back up. We had dinner and all this.
Because you got back up. We did dinner and Borat. We didn't do all this other shit. You got through Borat.
Yeah, but
Jeff woke up like 8. Sometimes shortly after the game was over. I woke him up. We got through dinner and just made it through Borat. We put on the sequel. We put on something else, and he was out in the first 5 minutes. And then night. Outside of how many people watched on Friday night?
We watched the Craft like a week.
Totally being real, Jeff. You were pretty far gone on that stream.
We started doing You Fall Asleep, remember, and then we picked it back up. Oh, no. It was a long time ago. Because we started with your mom was here, and we picked it back up not long after that.
Time is relative. I was messed up on that stream. You got to understand, we haven't done one in a while, but we're going to do, we have a quarterback there who wants to come on to do a Ninja Turtles 1990 stream. And then we got a couple other movies. We want to do Armageddon this year.
Guys, speaking of the craft, Sweet Pea really wants us to use witches as our plural noun. However, we also have leeches, ankles.
No, you have lychees.
I have lychees and leeches.
Oh. I will be right back. I have to visit the used beer department. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
What would you rather have in
He's going to file some paperwork.
Lychee or leeches?
I prefer lychee in my boba personally, but leeches
sounds kind of good actually.
Or we could have witches. Truck nuts. Witches. Part of me really wants to use witches because Sweet Pea really wants witches. Part of me really doesn't want to use witches because Sweet Pea really wants it. Part of me doesn't want to use witches just because another part of me really wants to use truck nuts.
Can you fit really truck nuts elsewhere?
The thing is okay, let's see.
What is my next word?
I'm gonna cheat.
Okay, cheat because we can.
And I'm gonna see. Well, because I don't. Since I don't participate in these ones, I'm allowed to cheat. I'm gonna take witches and truck nuts. Because the thing with truck nuts is I could arguably use that in a non-plural space too. So if I don't have any plurals, you know what? There's actually, if I table these two for later in the Mad Libs, I can actually put them both in the same sentence and it'll be great.
Then do that.
I'm going to do that. I feel like this is going to be the best way to honor both Sweet Pea and Flaming TP because I'm sure that Sweet Pea is sitting at home like, God damn, if you don't go with witches. Actually, she literally just said, I'd go with truck nuts. And I know Flaming DP is like, God damn, I hope they pick truck. I know. He's clearly the guy who sits at home going, God, I hope they pick truck. And he's the guy who was like, truck nuts sounds funny and probably forgot that he wrote it. I just think it's funny because I think truck nuts are hilarious. All right. Jeff, your next word is going to be an adverb. Oh, chat, you guys are working on an exclamation for us. So anything you might shout if you stubbed your toe or were Robin.
Retardedly.
Perfect.
I'm back.
Just in time to give us a plural noun.
A plural noun. We got to do something fun. Anal beads.
Yes! That took 0 time. Fun. Anal beads done. Sean, do you find anal beads fun?
No.
We like to party.
Remember, there's no judgment here. Like world-class bullshitters, we do not.
Oh, I know. I know. But for me, anything involving the exit door just doesn't need to happen. That's just me. Yeah. Again, like you said, no judgment. No judgment. But that's how I roll.
Actually. Was I the one who said, like, what if your kink is kink shaming?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was something that came out before I moved out here. I think.
Did you guys ever watch news radio?
Yeah, like when there was nothing else on.
Because that is that.
My favorite gag on that show.
You don't kink shame anytime you didn't add the unless your kink is being shamed. Every time you would say without that addition, my thought was, what if your kink is being shamed? And I'm pretty sure I super chatted that at least once.
My favorite gag in that show was there was an episode where the main character played by Dave Foley, and I think his name was David in the show. My favorite gag was the episode where he was dating Lisa, who worked in the office, and she kept asking him what he was really into, and he wouldn't tell her because he was like embarrassed. And so at the end of the episode, she's like, come on, just honest. He goes, okay, if I can be honest, what I'm really into. And he started going off onto something, and then he went to a sharp left turn where it was obviously he's making it up, and she got really angry and stormed off. And the character Beth comes in and she goes, Dave, I don't get it. Why don't you just tell Lisa what you're really into instead of making her mad? And he goes, because, Beth, what I'm really into is when Lisa's mad. and you hear off screen, Lisa goes, Dave, are you coming? And he just goes, oh, yeah.
I do too.
I fucking love that.
And I was just like, that's the best gag ever.
Great fucking joke. What a great setup. Oh, God. That's brilliant. Oh, perfect. Good situational comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've got a couple exclamations so far from Movies Off Productions AK. Our chat's working on exclamations. We have cream-filled wiener dogs and lubricated lug nuggets.
What the fuck is that? I love it.
I really love it. I love cream-filled wiener dogs because of the audience or because of our guests, but lubricated lug nuggets has great alliteration.
I think you should use that.
I gotta say that's a winner to me.
Lubricated lug nuggets, Batman.
Holy lubricated lug nuggets.
Just shit.
Holy rustum metal, Batman.
Huh?
The island. It's
that's metal. It's rusty and it's full of holes. Actually, I will admit my favorite gag from Batman Forever, Jeff, because I know you're a fan, is he took the car, sir. Which one? The Rolls? No, the other car.
The other car. Just each time Warren says the other car.
Exactly.
And then it just cuts to Chris O'Donnell.
I love it. Punk. Wait, it's not Batman. That's Bat Boy.
I love that scene. That's one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
So when I was a kid,
because I love the fucking neon glow stick gang
it's
aesthetic. Oh my god, I love it. Yeah.
Well, I thought that girl was Alicia Silverstone because it was just like a quick scene. So I was like, oh, is that the girl from Clueless? And then she was in Batman and Robin. I was like, they the same girl from the alley? Because I couldn't place it because it's VHS.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
maybe, not sure. I mean, it was the 80s. They all had the same hair.
By the way, great Top Gun reference.
It was halfway through the decade.
Jeff, in Top Gun, Merlin is Tim Robbins.
I'm sorry, say what?
In Top Gun, Merlin is Tim Robbins.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that, so I was just sharing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Kendo loves Top Gun.
That. I did not.
What, love it or see it?
No, did not know. I just did not know that it was Tim Robbins. I was like, Tim Robbins is the guy where I'm like, he's the Shawshank Redemption's guy.
Did I?
Exactly.
That's literally it. And I'm like,
you should watch.
That's all.
It's a pretty fun movie. It's about. I won't tell you about. It's about a guy who comes home, finds his wife in bed with somebody else, and goes.
Oh, Nothing to Lose. Yes.
That's a good movie.
That's a great fucking movie.
Yeah, watch it soon.
Him and Martin Lawrence are great together.
We should track it down really fucking soon. Maybe if we get the Mandalorian.
So in this version, though, his wife doesn't get murdered and he doesn't get framed for it or accurately blamed for it.
No, I don't want to spoil anything, but that does not happen.
Well, that
there's no one-armed man either. I'm sorry, Jesse.
Or crawling through shit, or pinups of
Rita Hayworth.
Yeah.
What's wrong with pinups of Rita Hayworth?
Nothing wrong with it. I just wondered if they were going to be in this
I wouldn't have
Tim Robbins.
I don't know if I'd ever have a Rita Hayworth.
But that
Maybe
was
a
really
Jane Mansfield
where it was like,
poster.
he's so... It was just funny seeing that and being like, God, he's like, everyone, you know him from that, and like, he's so iconic and all this shit from that. And I'm like, I literally don't know him from anything. Like, I've never seen anything else except for apparently Top Gun.
You haven't seen Cadillac Man?
Nope.
Jeff?
No, I have not seen that, but I've seen him in other shit.
Don't even know if
Jacob's
I've heard of
Ladder.
Man. I've never seen Jacob's Ladder. I know.
Hold on, let me look up Tim Robbins movies because I know I've seen. Wait, is he
was
the
one
Legend
of
of
those-
Bagger Vance?
He was one of those ones who's just one of those names you know. So that was like John Candy for me, where like, oh, when everyone's like, oh, of course you know John Candy, of course you know John Candy. It was like, I've seen like one, you know. Now I've seen more, but
okay.
At that time, it was like I'd literally seen one.
Shawshank Redemption, Mystic River, Bull Durham.
Never saw Mystic River.
Player.
Never
Jacob's
saw.
Ladder, Bob Roberts, Dead Man Walking.
Mm-hmm.
Susan Sarandon for all those years. I like her. Top Gun, War of the Worlds, Tom Cruise one.
Yeah, he was in that. He was creepy in that.
You definitely have seen him. He's in the second Austin Powers. He plays the president in 1969.
Oh, okay.
He's also in stuff like Hudsucker Proxy, High Fidelity, Green Lantern.
Oh, High Fidelity.
Zathura, Howard the Duck.
I think he was just one of those guys who's like the handful of things I had seen him in prior to, because I saw Shawshank Redemption late too. Whereas like Tim Robbins' ubiquitous name, where I had like literally didn't know who the fuck he was. Like I'd seen him at that point, in, you know, roles, some small, like smaller roles like that where he popped in Austin Powers or something like that. And I'm like, who is? You hear his name everywhere because he was in a lot of shit. And I was like, he's one of those guys that I've missed so much of his filmography. All right, back to Mad Libs though. We got lubricated lug nuggets. So chat, you're working on a verb now. Sean, you have a verb that ends in ing. IJ Hando for
pegging. Hey, it's Kama Sutra, Jeff. We got to go with something that's dirty.
Well, if it's cool for Deadpool, it's cool for the Kama Sutra. So
if someone is not into butt stuff, Sean is really into butt stuff tonight.
Because it's funny.
That's true. Asses are funny.
Jeff, you have a noun.
A person, a place, or a thing. How about an asshole?
There you go. Oh, you could not have picked a better word.
I didn't look.
Oh!
I promise.
I can't right now. Oh my god, I can barely even write this. It's too funny. This is one. Okay. Okay, chat. I just want you to know, based on this narrative, you have the bar is high for this verb. Like, this is not your throwaway round. This is not your I'm playing Cards Against Humanity and all my cards suck round.
Yeah,
this is not your phone it in. This is not your I don't really have a good verb, but no one's making suggestions, so I'll just say it anyway. This is like, you don't let me down, guys. When I'm saying mindless mob, do not let me down. Or in other words, don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down.
It's Jesse Joplin.
Don't let me down. That's a Beatles song.
I know, but it's a joke between me and Ashley. When you're drinking, you start singing, and I call you Jesse Joplin.
Especially because when I'm drinking, it makes my voice raspy, so I sound even more like her.
That and you keep singing Jesse Joplin songs.
I do. Bust a fly in that room, waiting for a train. When I was feeling near as faded as my jeans.
Oh, should make it.
Ooh.
What do we got?
Felch is good self-loathing training. but for the purpose, ooh, Ashley, go. Ooh. So, for the purpose of this story, Felch and Bathe are going to have pretty much polar opposite meanings. If you can imagine a story in which Bathe and Felch are opposites. but I don't know which one's funnier. Okay, I'm taking bathe. I gotta do it. Throat gag is good, Flaming TP. Actually, throat gag is really good. I'm still gonna go with bathe though because it's really funny in this one. Sweet Pea's a hero tonight. Blow. Actually, that would be good too. But we'll take bathe and we'll move along. All right, chat. In an adjective, and yes, Flaming TP, throat gagging is an adjective.
Cornholing.
You can definitely describe something as throat gagging. You
could even use an adverb though, right?
Oh,
throat gaggingly good.
Throat gaggingly good. Yes,
it's the chicken of the cave.
Jeff's
it's throat
dick
gaggingly
is
good.
throat gaggingly good. There you go. That's
You
how
always
would
do
use
a
it in
smile when you're
sentence.
done.
That's how you use a sentence. Man, that dick's a real throat gag. That's like, throat gagger right there. That'd be the noun, throat gagger.
Could you write me a song called
Throat gagger?
It's like Heartbreaker, but it's just the word
Throat gagger.
Oh my god! Wait! You should.
Oh my
It
god!
should be called throat gagger in parentheses Jeff's theme.
Yeah.
Okay, so an adjective, piss poor, piss covered. Sean has an adjective also.
Adjective. How about tingly?
Yep,
This should be interesting.
it should be Jeff. And noun.
How about a bicycle?
Rectaminity?
Bicycle? Yes. So Flaming TP, yes, but it can be used as both. So there's some verbs like where the verbial form can actually be translated as adjective. So yes, the act of throat gagging is a verb, like gagging, like so. There's the act of gagging on someone's throat. There is a throat gagger, as we just got a real throat gagger would actually be probably a good adjective. That would be an adjective version. But you could use throat gagging as an adjective, like we had a throat gagging good time.
Rip roaring.
That it was a throat gagging dick if I ever saw one. It was a throat gagging banana. Why you would gag yourself with a banana is beyond me, but anyway. So you could use it as an adjective in that.
Well, I'm kind of allergic to bananas, so technically, I mean.
So that there it would work for you. So you could throat gag on a banana pretty effectively. So I could. One thing is that I can make throat gagging work as in. What I'm trying to convey to you, Flame, is that if you would like, I can make throat gagging work in pretty much any part of speech. But we work with what we got. So winded, rectamently, greasy, glory holing.
Glory holing.
A glory holing good time.
Yeah, use that one.
Going to.
The glory holes on.
Wait.
Is this going to be the best one ever?
It's gonna be retarded.
Can we beat being able to send someone's butt plugs with our cock rings?
Maybe. We'll see if we have those levels of sensibility. Or if we get to plant our assholes and enjoy some piss-covered strawberries.
Or hot buttered nuns.
With our hot buttered nuns. I almost forgot about hot buttered nuns. That has to be a shirt. Oh my god, hot buttered nuns. I almost forgot about album. I fucking love the hot buttered nuns. They were the best. Holy shit, hot buttered nuns. Thank you. This is why we keep you around. Chat, you're working an adjective for us. Sean, and verb ending in ing.
Verb ending in ing.
Also, wholly lubricated lug nuggets is my new favorite thing to shout.
Adverb ending in ing. Okay, I'm going to go with this, see if you get it. Pink socking.
Yep.
Do you know what a pink sock is?
I think I can figure it out.
That's let's just say that's when due to it being a little big, some of the tissue comes back out the hole. See, you guys, I tried going with Blumpkin, and you were like, that's amateur hour. I'm like, oh, I can get worse.
So is it like a prolapsed vagina?
Kind of, or the back door.
Oh, prolapse. Why am I acting like this right now?
Because you're drunk.
Yeah, a lot.
I learned about that because I had a coworker who claimed his friend was so big he pink socked his girlfriend, and I'm like, what does that mean? And then I went home and looked it up on what do you call it? The Urban Dictionary, and I was like, oh! I was like, that poor woman.
This works too well. So,
pink socking is just a good grip. I like flaming teeth.
See, this would be really diabolical, right? Because we've done the 2 Seans before, but if we get the Council of Sean in here, so that Flaming DP knows that Sean from Patreon too. So we could do a true Council of Sean's with Sean Firefart, Flaming TP, and the Council of Sean himself.
It'll be like the Council of Ricks, but Sean's.
But Sean's.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are Rick and Morty fans.
Oh yeah,
I've seen that episode.
I've seen that episode. That was the first 2 seasons.
Oh, there's a couple of episodes in the first 3 seasons that have the Council of Ricks.
Council of Ricks, yeah, that's a whole the thing they go back to. I was well, I'll tell you more about my Rick and Morty adventures off air.
Cool.
So chat's working on an adjective. Jeff also has an adjective.
How about
All right, because you're doing it, I got to do it.
What?
openly?
Open. It would just be open. That would work.
Okay.
Do you want to use that? Or do you
No.
want to use a different one?
I want to.
Everything's you seem nonplussed.
Yeah. I was like, how
You
about?
seem less excited about open than open then.
Yeah, like very, like completely derailed my life. How about flatly?
Still an adverb. So flat.
Wait, is it I thought it was an adverb, like
I
ly,
mean an
right?
adjective.
Oh, an adjective. Sorry, I think it was an ly. My bad.
No.
Oh, how about dead? Because that's what I was doing. Plus, vagina, vagina.
Since vaginas
Everyone's
are
favorite.
except for Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro prefers a very dry, cavernous vagina. One where you do what he like. Ben Shapiro likes to have sex like playing Operation. His goal is to slot it in and out without touching the walls.
I have never had to live that life, and I just couldn't understand why anyone would want to.
Well, Jeff, when you're a well-endowed man, you can't live that life.
I mean, his wife is a doctor. Maybe that's what they think sex is. Well, not she, but maybe she's convinced him that's what sex is.
I just don't know, like, is a dude, like, never mind. I'm not going to get into fucking sex theory right now.
All right, so I like how I'm smoking my pen. Like I said, having never smoked a cigarette ever in my life. I've never even had a lit cigarette in my mouth before. I'm now smoking my pen like
Bullshit,
a cigarette.
folks. She ate all the joints.
I ate all the joints. I had like 2. You had the rest.
Wait. You never smoked a cigarette?
No, I've never even had a
cigar?
lit. Yes.
Okay.
You're like, wait. Oh yeah. The worst thing I did though is just terrible, and I'm very sad. So a couple years ago, I was in St. Louis for nationals. I had a really good friend, awesome friend there who took me around. He was a big cigar smoker, so he took me to a cigar shop, and he bought me a bunch of stuff. He like loaded me up, and I smoked some with him. And throughout the week and whatnot, we had one. He got me this really nice port smoked cigar that was supposed to be my victory cigar to smoke for surviving summer nationals, but that was exactly the same time I was starting to have my laryngitis issues. By the end of nationals, my voice was totally shot. So I didn't smoke anything cigar related. I didn't touch any of they foundered basically. They went to waste. I don't have anything nice to store them or anything like that, but I took them home with me and whatnot. And I actually brought them to a bunch of tournaments intending to smoke them there and stuff like that with my friends and stuff like that. And like, there was a friend specifically I wanted to share it with and all this, but then I had the chronic laryngitis for so long. And every time when I flew, it got worse. When I was at tournaments, it got worse. And
you let the cigars dry out, didn't you?
I was just it was sad, but at the same time, there was nothing I could do short of investing in a humidor, which I wasn't going to do.
I can tell you a little secret. Take a Ziploc bag, put your cigars in there, take a damp, not a soaking wet, just a damp paper towel, stick it in there with them. Mm-hmm. That's a quick, effective humidor on the cheap.
That makes sense. Now, to be fair, this particular one was sealed in like I don't remember exactly what the wrapping is, but I do remember that it had more of a protection around it. And I also was told too that it actually was very hard to light because the port soaking, it was so soaked with port that it was still a damp cigar. So it's possible. I actually don't know where it is in the apartment right now. It is possible that particular one might still be okay.
Gotcha.
Because of
always use a match or a butane lighter. Do not use a Zippo.
Okay.
Because the gas in the Zippo will taint the flavor.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Butane
burns clean, as does, of course, a wood match. Sorry, I don't smoke cigars really a lot anymore, but I used to smoke them fairly frequently when I was younger, and I do enjoy a good cigar. Now, of course, cigars you don't inhale, just making sure you know that. Unlike a cigarette, you do not inhale a cigar. If you do that, you will probably lose a lung right there.
You will die. It is no good. No bueno. But I think that's one of the reasons why I can tolerate cigars sometimes is because I have very sensitive lungs. That's one of the reasons I've never fucked with cigarettes, in addition to not wanting to anyway. But it's also like, we're out here, LA, cannabis, whatnot. Even things like a hit off of a bowl, a bong thing, the traditional things outside of even a joint that aren't usually as harsh are very harsh on my lungs. So gotcha. I don't touch any of that stuff. So cigars are the one thing because you don't suck it into your lungs. I'm like, I can deal with these sometimes because I have the most sensitive vocal cords ever, though. It still will trip up that stuff.
No, totally understood.
But I would say on average, I enjoy smoking a cigar, 1 to 3 cigars a year.
That's about where I'm at this point. Oh, excuse me.
We're
just one recommendation. If you get a chance, I got turned on to these when I was honestly about 18 or 19 years old. And I started smoking cigars. And there's a place in Tucson called Anthony Cigar Emporium. Great people. And they have a real respect for quality tobacco. And it doesn't have to be expensive, but they turned me on to a cigar by Arturo Fuente called the Hemingway. And I've never been able to go to anything else. It's just a great cigar.
That sounds cool. This is okay. So the more I'm imagining what this ultimate hangout is going to look like when we do get out there, the more I'm really enjoying it.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be this is going to be a good trip.
Cigars, whiskey, beer, wine. We're talking good times. And of course, food.
Oh, God, yeah. I'm really looking forward to this. But carrying on, we have been getting a lot of fun adjectives in our chat, so I want to make sure we read them all and pick the best one. Because we have people like Parody Bear and Sweet Pea in here giving us just countless suggestion after suggestion for adjectives. And this is going to be our last chat suggestion for the night, so we want to make sure we take a good one. Winded, miserable, superior, virginal, fist pumping, moldy, stanky, creamy, dainty, slippery, juicy, low energy, shifty, lusty, rusty, sandy, unconventional. I like that one. Bare-breasted.
Spooky vaginosis. I like that.
Crusty, dusty, bow-busty. Crusty, we just got crusty, dusty, bow-busty. Are we okay? And these are for 3 different people. So self-loathing Tranny Jeremy says, Sweepy said crusty. Self-loathing Tranny Jeremy says dusty, and Sweepy followed up with bow-busty. And I feel like I want my adjective to be crusty, dusty, bow-busty.
Do it.
Do it. That'd be great.
All right. So the last thing I need is a pair of adjectives from you two.
Adjectives?
Adjectives.
Those will make me happy. Let's see.
All right. I'm not trying to make this sound in any way derogatory, but because I'm thinking of an adjective that would be fun for this. Flaming.
Yeah.
Like TP.
Yes. I was actually thinking of the episode of, if you guys have ever seen it, where Homer realizes that one of the friends he's made is actually gay and he didn't realize it. And he claims that John was, by the way, if you've ever seen the episode, John is a character I would actually want to hang out with because John seemed like a great hang. But he's like complaining that John wasn't gay enough to go off on Homer's gaydar. And so he's like, I'm an American, Marge. I like my beer cold, my TV loud, and I like my homos flaming.
Oh my God. Jeff, your adjective.
Stupid.
That's
always a good, just curt, like, the stupid thing. And you're like, well, fuck, he doesn't like it.
All right.
No, seriously, that was a great episode. And seriously, like, I remember watching that episode, and all I kept thinking, I was like, I'd hang out with John. Seriously, I'd go have a drink with John and hang out with him. He seems like a really great guy.
Like, old Simpsons in general is some really great humor that still holds up today.
Yeah, it does.
Never my cup of tea, but that's just me. And tonight's story that we have written, guys, is the Karma Sutra.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. So by now, you know hornily what the Avalanche Sutra is. But do you also know what Karma Sutra is? For one, it's a way to describe the Hindu and Buddhist concept of karma. But in reference to what happens to what happens to us between the anal beads. So, all right, that actually works. Karma Sutra is karma between the anal beads.
Yes, it is.
If you perform retardedly in bed, you can expect to have the same happen to you in return.
If you're bad, sex will put some up your butt.
Lubricated lug nuts better start pegging.
Oh, God.
This is especially true for oral asshole. If you give it, expect to bathe it.
Oh my.
You see why now? Karma Sutra also describes the tingly repercussions that can sometimes come from being a hot and sexy bicycle. That's the shirt, hot and sexy bicycle. If you rely on your glory holing good looks your whole life, that's like a voice. You have a face for radio. You have glory holing good looks. Instead of calling people like one baggers, we'll say he's got glory holing looks. He's got glory holing looks. Oh
I prefer triple bagger with oven mitts.
Oh, bro.
That's a bag for your head, a bag for her head, and a bag for the lamp in case it falls off of either of you.
Oh, that's not what a three bagger means for me.
Oh,
no, my three bagger is a bag for her head, so you don't have to see your face, right? A bag for your head, so nobody recognizes who you are, and a bag to throw up in while you're doing it.
Ah, okay.
For me, so.
Oh, okay. That's right.
We're not done.
Oh, okay.
If you rely on your glory holing looks your whole life, there will come a time when witches will no longer care about you. Because you lost your truck nuts. It's Karma Sutra pink socking up to you. Lesson is, even if you're dense, you still have to develop a crusty, dusty, bobusty personality. Karma Sutra may have a few stupid definitions, but don't be fooled. Some flaming idiots just don't know how to spell.
Mean ending. This is mean. It still had a spell. Well, fuck. That's why it's their attention.
They're flaming idiots.
They're flaming idiots. Come on.
Crusty, dusty, busty personality.
We gotta go. We gotta go. Thank you. Thank you, audience. You have glory holding on good look.
Right now, Pancake is just he has been sleeping in front of my computer for most of this. I gotta take a picture of what he's doing right now because it's too fucking funny. He just like tapped in. He's like, "Hello, no, don't stop!" Now he stopped, of course, before I could take the picture. So we're looking at my laptop right here, and then there's my microphone's planted right next to it. There's just a little space right between here. Pancake sprawled out on the opposite far side of my laptop screen, and he just rolled over on his back and stuck his head upside down in between the one space that it would fit, just to be like, "Hello!" Oh, and we have a final super chat of the night and a final drink. The Council of Sean says, "I did like Back to the Future 3. That was a slow burn on that one.
That's a great way to
That
close
was a
with
slow burn.
We should just stop.
That's brilliant.
Good. Good night.
Cheers to the Council of Sean. Cheers to Thirsty Thursday. It's not the 5th of November anymore anywhere in the continental United States. So.
But it is in Hawaii, so mahalo, motherfuckers.
Everyone go sub to Go Big Boy or Go Home. Everyone go sub to Justin Proper. They were both phenomenal guests tonight.
We had a
brilliant time. Of course we have World Class Bullshitters. We sub to this wonderful man, World Class Bullshitters. Catch us all the time, everywhere, doing things. We are drinking for your super chat. I am. I don't know if everyone.
Oh, Tuesday, the new Xbox should be here. So yeah, Twitch, subscribe. We'll have a name next.
Is this the new Xbox that takes up like a whole room?
No, that's the PlayStation 5.
Oh, got it. Sorry.
Yeah, the Xbox is everyone's actually been really into it apparently, and like the one review we saw, the guy really was keen on the design.
I think it's a great looking box. Like I like that it's so simple.
It's a great looking box.
Great looking box. But good boys and girls of the chat, without further ado, it is going to be time for us to bid you a good night. So as always with the Corona kiss, like I said, Sean at Go Big Boy or Go Home has been right there behind me.
Thanks for having me, as always.
Such a pleasure. Jeff of World Class Bullshitters, you're here. You're already part of the Mindless Mob. You know what's up. To all of you out there, thank you so much for hanging with us. And as always, practice makes wrong.